Strictly lane.
No jungle.
Why did they cut out?
I was freaking muted that entire time. They missed that legendary.
Yeah,
They missed
that.
that.
It was like so loud they cut out the goat. I was like, oh,
Oh my god.
that's an intro right there.
They missed that legendary intro. Owen, tell them how legendary my intro was.
It was pretty good. You guys missed it, but you can actually see me now instead of the Owen Wilson meme.
I mean, I'd rather look at you than Owen Wilson, in all honesty.
Oh, thank you.
But we have
My
a
nose
treat.
might be a little better.
We have a treat for you guys today. As usual, we have the 1v1s going down. This time, a bunch of junglers will be going head to head, and so this will be a lot of fun. And first up, we have Mr. Soul Reaper versus Mr. Snicks, and this is the Abyss division. So we got 2 Abyss junglers going head to head, and after that, it's all downhill in skill level. So let's enjoy it while it lasts, right?
I mean, uphill in like entertainment, like we get to see a little like haha funny misses, and
A slow decline.
Exactly.
A slow decline in talent and a steep incline in entertainment.
Yeah, I know, Fable. I just
Sorry, I'm not trying to roast you.
whenever I am on the cast myself, my mic just gets muted by itself. But whenever I'm not casting, my mic comes unmuted by itself. So I think I just need to leave my mic muted whenever I'm gonna go live. And I don't know. It's
Reverse psychology, it.
yeah, reverse the psychology. But
Oh no! Don't mute my mic. That would be awful.
I feel so unprofessional. You have a nice like desk mic, like the boom mic.
this was like what, $10 off of Amazon? It really wasn't that much.
And it works really
It's
well.
not
too.
that
Your audio's
nice.
good.
I know. I really like it. But
What
here
kind
we
of
go.
earbuds do you use?
Here we go into game number 1, and the players have chosen Poseidon.
Dodge's earbud question.
Dude, I was curious.
Did you say earbud question?
Yeah, so what kind of earbuds are you using?
Oh, it's like 10-year-old skull candy earbuds.
gosh.
They're not very high
But
quality.
you look so professional.
Well, thank you. Well, we see the auto battle going on. By the way, we have low spectator delay on, but we're still gonna be like 10 seconds behind these guys. So and they're in the VC right now, so you may hear some
You're about
grunts, but between them.
Look
And
at
then
these.
Group it out.
Look at that maneuver.
Yeah,
They're both lame and got it.
Charlie,
Nick,
break
so
this
you on,
down.
Keyboard and mouse now.
So Whirlpool comes out, other Whirlpool comes out, Riptide comes out,
Ooh!
and that will be First Blood.
Snicks getting first blood. Charlie, I was gonna ask you to break down how the Poseidon 1v1 matchup goes, but hey, nice play-by-play.
Thank you. I panicked when you said break this down.
I,
so I was
well,
like,
Owen cut me off, so I got cut off mid-sentence.
I got excited, dude. I'm sorry.
when I heard break this down, I'm like, oh yeah, play-by-play for sure.
No, play-by-play
I mean-
is my thing. Owen just sits there and looks pretty.
Okay.
But no, how does the Poseidon 1v1 go? Because we've seen a lot of 1v1s over the past couple weeks.
So, whoever drops, I imagine whoever just dumps
Snakes
their
are
kit first is gonna
fucking
win, and all that all starts with the Kraken, especially if you mistime your Aegis or don't use your Aegis or don't have it up, etc.
Oh yeah, I agree. If you most matchups, it's like whoever utilizes their ultimate second or certain things second they win. But I feel like this is just kind of like whoever all ins and successfully lands the damage is the winner.
Especially because you're still moving around when you're casting as Poseidon, so it's like, it's not like Raw where you're just sitting there, you ult, and then oh wow, okay, now I just get ulted for free.
Ooh, Soul Reaper is back, unfortunately stopped. How do
He
you feel
just
about
wants
the
his Bancroft, dude.
How do you feel about the Bancroft start, though? It's not something we see often, much less on Poseidon, at least in Conquest.
See, I feel like in Conquest before this patch, it was a lot more. Ooh, Kraken comes out. before
Ooh,
it gets
great
bonked
Aegis
there.
though by
Other
Soul
Kraken
Reaper.
comes
Another
out.
great Aegis by Snyx. The reaction timing on those Aegis coming out, these are clearly Abyss players, because my Shallow's ass would have been hit by that.
Look, all I'm saying is you would think it would be easy because of the wind-up time, right? And you kind of know it's coming. But there are so many times where I feel like I press my Aegis and it just doesn't work.
We just blame Hi-Rez for that, right? We don't take blame ourselves for our slow reaction time. No, we blame Hi-Rez for not fixing their relic situation.
I just start yelling about ping.
Dang.
It's always
It's
the
a ping
ping.
dev.
It's always the ping.
I could be on like 5 ping. I'd be like, man, it's just a ping diff, stuttered.
I'm interested to see the next Kraken trade though, because now we don't have Aegises.
Whoa. Build divergence.
Yeah, I was just about to comment on that. We're seeing a bit of differences in builds. We see a book build. What do you think that book is going to become on the side of Snyx?
Probably a poly if I had to guess. Just a lot of bursts, a lot of quick bursts. Like, if you're already ahead by 1-0, you might as well try to get the poly, push that to a 2-0. Just extra burst.
That's right. This is a 1-0. Next kill, at least for Snyx, wins. And Soul Reaper eating a bit of those enhanced autos. And that's one of my favorite things to do as Poseidon. Walk up to... Oh, well, there's the Kraken trade. And Snyx comes out on top. And Snyx takes game number 1 over Soul Reaper. I was just about to start talking about the Poseidon, man. And how much I love that second ability, especially when you build him attack speed, go up against a hunter who's not expecting it. And then Snyx just ends the game. But that's okay. We still have one more game. Snyx Soul, Snyx Soul. I'm sorry. You guys still there?
Yeah. Good morning. Dude, I remember when I first started comp and I teamed with Snyx, and I decided to troll on Nike jungle, and our coach switched us mid jungle, and I just became a worse mid than Snyx.
You just slowly degraded.
Well, hey, game 1 goes to Snyx, but we still have a game 2 to play. What are you guys wanting to play? What god? You guys chose Poseidon. What god you want to play?
Let's go physical this time, Snyx.
Wanna do
Ulir, oh fuck yeah, bud.
Okay,
we are
profanity.
PG, sir.
Profanity.
Extremely.
Good to know. Good morning. My bad.
Good morning.
I'll take full blame for that, for not warning them beforehand. But hey, we are gonna see the Uller 1v1, and that's a very common 1v1 matchup that we see quite a lot.
That was a blast too. I always enjoy Ullers.
Last week, who was it? It was Bun Bun and who that faced off against Uller on Uller last week.
It was Corbin.
It was Corbin.
Bud, and then it was
Bud.
also Bud and I want to say Chef.
Did they both?
It was
go,
Chef.
Did
Bud
Bud
both
go
sets.
both sets?
Yes,
yeah,
we did.
they did
Oh.
I think they did on her Ul and then Hercules. I think that was the trend.
Are we gonna maybe get on the same page with the builds here?
Hey, you know what? I told them that they could build whatever they wanted, and I'm gonna stick by that.
Look, if they want to do that, then power to them.
Snyx,
I was
stop,
just
man.
checking.
Hey, it's a lot of fun, especially in these upper divisions, to see just how different they get, at least in build wise. As we are going right into game number 2, this is the Ul 1v1 between Snyx and Soul Reaper, and we saw it twice last week. Do we need to break down the Ul 1v1 and how this goes?
Oh my lord!
Yeah.
Hold on, they're brawling.
Oh, we are very late.
They are getting at it.
We are very late to this. My apologies. I was busy talking.
I don't
But
know
hey.
if we're late. It's more they just started, Immediately, they took no time.
Oh, right, we're
I
only
guess
30
Abyss-
seconds
I
in.
guess Abyss players are just they're just built different, man. You know,
I
they see
mean-
how even custom games. You see how fast that custom game was thrown up and started. Insane.
We rate the titles Demonic versus Boopy. I feel like surely Snicks has the better title here.
Well, okay. It's about the intimidation factor, right? You've got
I don't think
Demon
it
on
is.
one side, and you got
I'd be
Casper
scared
the
of
friendly
Spoopy.
ghost on the other.
I would be scared of Spoopy.
Boopy has like a menacing aura to it, where it's like I don't know what Spoopy is thinking, and that's what scares me even more. Like I know what Demonic is thinking. I have no clue the person behind Spoopy.
Oh, we're getting the dabs. We're getting the dabs by Soul Reaper. He's an insta win. Soul Reaper's got my vote this game already. Ooh, great
I think
axe at
Sni-
damage.
I think Snicks just dips me on a mechanical level.
This is
more
Snicks. You said your keyboard and mouse, right?
I'm on controller.
He's on roller,
Always on
dude.
controller.
Look. If this was Apex, I'd be like, oh yeah, no kidding, Snicks wins, right? But
It's just
Come
a
on.
matter of fact that controller is far less superior to the keyboard and mouse gang.
on MOBA,
On MOBAs, yes.
I stand by the wave in first person, well, modern first person shooters, I guess, like Halo, Call of Duty, Apex Legends. Controller's OP, man.
but then
but
you get
yes.
something like Rainbow Six, and nobody's using a controller. at
Yeah,
all.
because I don't think Rainbow Six has aim assist, right?
No, it doesn't.
That game is competitive too, man. Look at these
yeah.
guys just trading. I don't think I've seen Soul Reaper have full
That-
mana this entire time.
This is more axes hit by both these individuals than we saw Bud hit all last week.
Okay, listen, you can't
This is
you can't blame Bud. Bud can't even defend themselves here. What are we doing?
Well, that's exactly why you got to go after him while you still can.
Quick, beat him while he's down.
Exactly.
quick beating before he comes back next week.
We're actually making an improvement this week, truthfully, too, because we don't have any clips of Raptor being mean so far.
So far.
Right?
So
At this
far.
point, I think last week we had
Wait,
like,
you said
two
you-
clips of you being out of pocket.
I never said anything mean. I just said things that
Yeah,
out of
uh-huh.
context could be taken a
Yeah,
different
sure,
way.
buddy.
Oh yeah, me talking about baseball and saying "screw the Indians" by accident is.
Oh my god. Okay, somebody clip it.
Round
Ionicus
two.
is probably in chat. He's probably got it hotkeyed, just ready.
Waiting.
Soul
leaped the hail
Reaper
of arrows
eating
and
a
loses
lot
the
of damage, and
trade.
Snicks on the sticks takes first blood yet again.
You would. I was
Did
waiting
you
for you
come
to
up with
rhyme
that?
that.
Did you come up with that on your own? Just...
Yeah, I just
I
came
was-
up with that on the spot.
Have you ever heard that before, Snicks?
Yeah.
I was like, huh. I'm surprised it took 10 minutes for that one to happen.
Hey, look, I'm like F. I will say a lot of clever things. It will just take me a lot longer than a normal person to come up with them.
Gotta go to 10 train stations just to get to the next town over, I guess.
Ooh,
Oh my gosh.
both of them are
Oh.
just whiffing all over each other, and then Soul Reaper finally breaks it with an axe. And then they both whiff axe autos. How about that?
Hey, the autos are hard. I think I'm watching a dance.
It is, right? It's kind of awesome to watch two high-level players, even if they're not taking it completely seriously, even if there's nothing on the line and they know that. It's kind of fun to watch just their movements and how they handle themselves. Especially compared to how I would handle myself, me and my shallows.
I don't know
Skill
if Soul Reaper just surrendered there, but it's not looking good. Hail of arrows.
Ooh!
Oh,
A great backstep. Snicks trying to...
he's coming. He wants it.
Woo.
Oh! Oh!
Oh, Soul Reaper falls, and that will be a 2-0.
Snicks misses arguably the easier of the three abilities to hit, and then lands the axe.
I don't know. Hail of Arrows has like kind of a delay on it. It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
Not if you're a Chad, huh, Snicks?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna
That
make it
was
again
good.
because I'm really proud of myself for saying it, even if he says it's common. Snicks on the Sticks gets the win there 2-0 over Soul Reaper. And Snicks, since while we have you here and we have a bit of time before our next 1v1 is supposed to start, how was it? How did you enjoy it?
You know, short but fun.
Oh! You're gonna
I'll,
take that?
I'll remember that in the league game.
Again,
Buddy, look, man, I gotta hit the rank queues and just learn how to dominate you snakes.
one day, one day.
Yeah, I don't think that day will ever happen.
You're gonna have to plug in a controller.
I might have to.
I just
Dude,
cannot wait for. I
as
cannot wait
long
for
as I've known him. Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying I can't wait for general chat that day. It'll just be like, short but fun. It'll just be in
Short
quotation.
but fun.
As long as I've known Snicks has always been very monotone and nonchalant about when he's beating people up.
Buddy's like, yeah, just another Friday night, man.
Somebody's in a moving truck backing up right now.
Yeah, he's also muted on stream at the moment. Hey, Soul, you lost. You lost, but that was fun to. Was it as fun to watch play as it was to watch, even though it was short. As Six says.
As short as it was and how diffed I was by him, I'll definitely say coming in together with a 1v1 of the previous teammate was definitely just a nice little fun get together.
Hey, that's what we're here for every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Probably later because we don't know how to start on time here at the Quackcast. But
You know what? You know what I love about that is he's like he keeps saying former teammate, and I feel like Snicks is sitting there like that Thanos. And he's like, I don't even know who you are. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you took
That was
everything
good.
from
That was a
me.
good team.
So many memes just ran through my head at the exact same moment as soon as you said that, and they all fit perfectly. But hey, Snicks takes the 1 or 2-0. I'm sorry, over Soul
Go ahead and
Reaper
say it.
to open us up here on Wednesday. We still got 2 more, and they, as I said, it all goes downhill from here. We get to the wilder and less skilled people, and that's arguably more fun to watch. So we will be right back with the deep sea 1v1s right after this very, very short break.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our clouds when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding.
again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Quackcast Season 7, Week 4. I think I got all that right. And my mic is unmuted now, so you can actually hear me. I am Raptor, still. He's Owen, down at the bottom. And we got the Char Goat in the middle here.
Why does it cut off every time?
Because Discord sucks, man. Discord just hates me.
Even more that it just go.
I can't tell if the stream actually hears it, but...
I don't know, but it makes
I know
it so funny for me.
Discord hates it. Discord hates that stuff. That's why I do it. But we are back with the Deep Sea Division this time. We got some more 1v1s, and we got Uncle Fable, the drunk maniac himself, who's actually sober this time, versus Arrow.
Tragic.
Hello.
So this is going to be an interesting one because if Fable is a very good player when he's a bit hammered, and everyone knows this. It's not even a meme. I've faced him both sober and hammered. It's not a meme.
I get it in all my rankings.
But how does he fare when he's sober? We'll have to see.
All I know is that whenever I see these two in my casuals, I get farmed. So I get PTSD.
You play casual Smite?
I do play casual Smite.
Oh, man.
I feel so sorry for you.
Oh no, I'm laughing. Stop.
Like I'll have one
You can do
game.
that.
I'll have one game where it's like, oh yeah, Fable's on my team. This is awesome. And then next game, Fable will be on the other side. I'm like, this is awful. I hate this.
Ooh, I'm loving what we're seeing at Fable right now. We got Sunder on her. Owen, Sunder on her. How do you feel?
Dude, honestly, that's some Chad energy. Can you imagine getting knocked up, sundered, and then impaled?
Oh, well, we only saw the blink.
We are
impale.
garbage.
We are so bad. I don't think I've hit autos this whole time.
I mean, I did warn everyone, didn't I? It's just a tad of a step down from
we hit
our
those.
abyss
I
level
need to
players.
step up, really.
Oh, you hit those too.
I think they're thinking a lot.
They're over.
We already saw it. We already saw it. The entertainment has gone up.
I'm
and
losing
the
this
talent has
trade
gone
right
down.
Owen.
I'm so bad.
I just said Owen. I meant to say
Unfair.
Arrow, and I said Owen.
Oh, I was about to say,
Wait, was I
yeah.
allowed to build HOTS? Right? I was?
Yeah.
I was about to say
Okay,
yes.
Cool. Alright.
Arrow, just calm down, don't overthink, and you'll be fine.
I'm
Arrow.
dead, bro. What do you mean don't overthink?
Oh, well, that's a nice little...
That's a nice little spoiler, because we're like
Oh, my
quite
bad.
a
Okay.
while behind you.
Wow, Arrow, jeez.
Like, we're just watching you guys dance around a pillar, and you say, oh, I'm dead, guys.
Oh, the Sunder? How do you hit the Sunder but not the Impale?
I know, that's what I'm saying, right?
Oh, he's out of mana.
Arrow is out of mana. I'm very curious
Get
how
outta
close
here.
are they to...
What?
Alright, I'll catch you later.
Fable is
That's
very
that's it
close
for
to
me, champ.
hitting level 5, but he's not
Whoa.
gonna need it. Arrow impaled into the wall and killed, and Uncle Fable takes
Surely you
first
didn't
blood.
level your ult here, right?
Dying to...
sure-
Surely you didn't.
Dying
Goodbye.
to...
I'll catch you later.
On her, pre-level 5, that's tragic.
Where you going, homie?
I'm chilling. I'll be back. Oh, I'm stuck in my menu.
I don't even know how to commentate
I
over this,
choked.
really. They,
I don't think we
they've
have
got
to.
all the content right there.
Whoa.
Don't do it.
Oh, man.
Every single time I see them hit an impale, it gets funnier and funnier. I
actually
don't know
just got
what
stuck
about it
in my
gets funnier.
phone.
On her's like the king of
Oh, wait,
like,
we said not
please
going
get
to
away
jungle.
from me.
I'm trolling.
Oh man.
I only did the smalls, but
It's strange that On Her is the king of that and not Aphrodite, since she literally has ability called Back Off.
Look, I guess.
Ooh,
Goated
Fable
could be
falling
considered.
very
Yeah.
low.
Oh, dude,
Not able to
that
hit
was
the
like
auto, though.
barely out of range. That last one.
Woo!
Yo,
Arrow
Arrow.
ties it up under the tier 1 tower.
And then
Next
Arrow
kill wins.
hitting the red buff.
Yeah, Arrow, we're not supposed to...
already
No,
said I trolled,
jungle's
chill
not
out.
allowed. Jungle's not allowed, man.
This guy's like, I don't play duel. Kills him, goes for the red buff. Like,
Oh, sure, Arrow doesn't play duel.
Yo, where is my homie right now?
I bet you're gold in duel.
Ooh,
Look at that.
Probably.
double impale. How often do we see on her trade impales? The Desert Fury almost catching Arrow. Oh, the Sunder!
Oh, if you would have sundered
I think
before that
that's
auto,
good
if you would have sundered
damage.
before it.
The
Yeah.
Sunder before the auto kills him. Didn't
I'm
they change
convinced-
Sunder? Didn't Sunder used to do like a fair bit of damage and you could like kill with it? And then they
Yeah,
they
it
changed
used to do percent max health and not percent current health, and that didn't last long. So
Because then you
I
can
just
get that-
I just
that
remember
killing
all the
blow.
old Punk Duck and Mithy Moo videos where they would kill each other with Sunder, and I wasn't around for that time.
Bro,
luckily.
what is this garbage?
Okay, well something happens because Arrow just called the game garbage, which it is, but it's garbage we love, right?
Bro, leave me alone.
going, man?
I'm passive. I'm a passive player. Leave me alone.
Come here.
Arrow
I'll go under
actually
here.
showed up, right? Okay.
You scared me, okay? Stop.
As I was saying, Arrow showed up right there, though. That was a good little trade until he got slapped in the face.
the best part is their commentary just kind of fits for any point of the game.
It does.
I get really
They're not giving us
Hearing-
any spoilers except for that one time where Arrow literally just said, "I'm dead." But
I learned my
Yeah.
lesson.
Hearing Arrow say I'm a passive player is just
Arrow, I'm a passive player. It's also tied 1 kill to 1.
Chill out.
Come here.
That was
He-
What am I autoing right now?
that made me laugh a lot harder than it probably should have, but that was so funny to watch.
Also, I don't know if you guys were aware, but if you take the tower, that's also a win.
Oh, yeah, we ain't doing that this game.
Well,
Huh.
5 minutes in, let's check out the gold lead. It's about 166, which in a normal Conquest game means nothing.
Oh.
In Duel, it also means nothing,
Minions?
but it's an
Minions?
interesting number to talk about.
yo.
So what do we
there's
do
My
now?
wife is
there's a
gonna
one
fist
gold
fight me if I
difference.
yell like that again.
What do we do
wife is
now?
gonna- Wait, I got 2 kills. Oh, I spoiled it.
Yeah.
God damn.
So do I.
This Arrow game.
Well,
So do you.
The game
What is
ends in
happening?
just about a minute, so good to know.
I guess.
Ooh, Fable up downs and Arrow reads that beautifully, impaling him right into the pillar. Is it called an obelisk? Is that what
I
that?
think it is. Or
You want to just have a jump party?
This makes
Yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah, until we figure out
I
what
know
we're
in like the
confusing.
fancy on
Ooh,
her skin-
Arrow wins the trade and gets the game number 1.
Oh.
Yeah, what do we do about that?
Okay. Arrow. Okay.
Arrow technically was the first of 2.
Arrow technically is the winner. Right?
Yeah. Well,
However,
let's just chill with our boy here. Let's just chill with our boy while we talk about what just happened. So,
Can we get a ruling?
So, Uncle Fable and Arrow, they were trading, right? Arrow kills Fable, and then almost instantly dies to minions. What's the ruling that we get here?
Yeah, Fable didn't get the kill. The
Arrow
minions did.
got the kill first.
No, I got the kill. What are you talking about?
Wait, what did I say? Did I say Fable killed Arrow?
I mean,
No,
I
you
did.
said Arrow killed Fable and minions killed Arrow.
No, I did. What are you talking about?
I think that the
I-
ruling
I-
is it's Arrow.
Yeah, I think that the ruling is that Arrow just wins. Though Fable's
We
a
love
much
that.
better jumper, I'm sorry. But
So what do I do?
Arrow takes game number 1 in the on her 2v2
One of you
duel.
F6s.
Yeah, can we just get an F6 so we can move on?
Can we
with our
move to
lives,
game
please?
2?
they're clearing the wave. Let them clear their wave. Jeez. You want the X on a full wave, do you?
Okay, if I scream like that again, my wife is gonna fist fight me. So we need to not, we need to make these more boring. So
that was
Monotone.
Do Owen, Charlie, do we even need to be here? These two are just entertaining by themselves.
I love playing
I
with
don't think
myself.
so. All right.
I'm sorry.
Me too, though.
I guess we're not going to go to game number 2. I guess we're just gonna
Still
sit here.
going.
Fable gets the kill onto Arrow. to
Wait,
go
did they
up
just tell me-
2.
I have a scrim tonight. What kind of garbage is that? Okay. All right.
Remember, Arrow, everything you say can be heard by all 6 viewers.
I hope they do hear it. It's a weeknight. They're trying to make me scream at 9:30.
I will
Ouch.
say that.
Okay,
I,
that deserves it. Whoever your captain is should be ashamed.
Wait, what the? Okay.
Alright, it's back up.
All right,
yeah.
finally.
every player's reaction to a scrim. is oh man, there's a scrim. Like, I'll schedule scrims. I'm like, man, I don't
This
want
one's Uller, right?
Yeah.
I'm nervous. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Arrow,
wait, I
you've
didn't
been
change
nervous since you joined this call.
I know, bro. I know.
Yep.
Oh man. I didn't
Where's
change my
Uller?
picture.
Aw,
Begins
cute
with
dog.
a U.
Maya, you want
where's
to say
there
hi?
it is.
She doesn't want to say hi.
Alright, so this goes one
No
of two
one
ways.
wants
I
to
miss
say
every
hi.
axe and I
I
die
get it.
instantly.
I'm gonna miss every axe.
No, I'm gonna miss every act. No, I'm gonna miss every act.
Oh,
What is
I don't
worse
have
than
that
dying
skill.
by one?
All right, yet another Ool duel.
Wait, were you spectating us? I feel bad.
I'm,
this the right
I'm
map?
loading in now,
Is this
so
right
you're
back?
good.
Does it? I mean, does it matter though?
Well, we can build starters here.
No, you can't.
Can we?
No, you can't.
I'm
Yeah.
looking at
Oh, we
starter items.
can.
For,
Alright,
for
but we're
those
not.
who for those who can't see it, which is everyone that's watching the stream right now, they picked the wrong map, which is okay.
yeah,
'cause
they
that's
did.
perfectly enjoyable.
So wait,
What,
are we just doing the same thing, trans Jotuns?
Yeah.
Okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah, they picked the wrong map. So I'm sorry that we aren't as sophisticated as as
Bro,
the
speak for
SPL.
yourself. What the
But
hell?
I don't know. See, I feel like variety is the spice of life, and I feel like you gotta have that for your maps as well. You know, it would get boring if I only saw green and yellow all the time. Sometimes I need to see some purple and blue.
Bro.
that
Hey, why are you
This
running? Come here.
map. I hate this map so much.
okay.
Why do you
let's
hate
talk
this
about
map?
this. Why do you hate this map?
Man, I'll tell you what. I used to
Please
play
do.
a lot of Joust, right?
Yeah.
The
Bracer,
current
yo!
dual map, the one we utilize.
Wait, who got Bracer? Fable.
Why did I walk into that?
I was actually
Hey, yo! Chill.
I was actually pretty
Woo!
good at
The
Joust,
bait
on
by
the last
Uncle
map,
Fable.
though. I've never been successful on this map in any
Fable.
Joust game I've ever played, I don't think.
So you
I
don't
just
hate
wanted
this
to-
map. You just hate
You're
your
getting
track
skilled
record
there.
on this map.
You're getting skilled at.
That it's like look at all that
I'm getting
jungle
Uller
over there
dipped
to
right
the
now, that's
left.
for sure.
Dude, it'd be a real shame
There's
if
so
we
much
just went
more
back to the old
farm, you know, and I'm not the best player, so I hate when I'm getting out farmed.
See, I like this
Yo, is
map
that a blank?
because it's pretty to look at. It's a
It
pretty
is
looking
very
map.
pretty to look
You're
at.
spoiling the cast right now.
I do really like looking at this map as a arrow gets dumpstered on by Uncle Fable.
What do you mean dumpster?
Yo, where's my totem, man?
Where's
It
your
is the
totem?
You're selling or selling this game, honestly.
Yeah.
You trust them to do one thing and they just never are able to do it. It's insane.
Yeah, for real. I totally was.
Oh, my bracer's gone. Time to leave, time to leave. Alright, bye, I'll catch you later.
Cause of a loss because I didn't get totem or anything like that. Never. No.
No, it's
you
quite literally
into
how
it?
every.
Why am I so bad?
Also, Arrow, why are you saying that you didn't get dumpster on? You're down 9. You're almost down almost 1,000 player damage, while you have 300.
Okay. Rome wasn't built in a day, Raptor.
True. Hold up. This is a good point. He did hit level 5 first, so
How did
On
he hit
Uller.
level 5 first? He lost
On
a whole
Uller.
wave to minions
he's,
or
he's
tower.
built different. Like I'm an arrow specialist, and arrow just has that dog.
Wait, where are you going?
Okay.
You'll show you
I got that dog in me.
Oh, you do.
There's a certain captain for the crew, and you know that's just a quote that he lives by, and I have to pioneer now.
Well, Owen, I gotta know, based on what you've seen so far, are we gonna see another short but fun set?
This is gonna go so long. Uncle Fable's the only one buying mana pots, so he already has the upper hand.
Well, it's because
Oh,
Uncle
I got-
Fable's been out of
Wait, I got
mana
it back.
like
I
the
got it
past-
back. I got it back.
They've bought so many pots that they could probably finish their Transcendence already if they didn't buy those.
Listen,
Chalice.
Y'all, how's the weather by y'all right now?
It's
yeah,
according to my PC.
Well, I know what
it's actually
Chargo
mostly
and Fable
clear.
is, but more so Raptor and Owen.
50 degrees.
The high today was 30.
Oh,
Yo, the high today was 80.
dude.
Yeah,
Wow,
it's
no-
about the
don't
same
need to
for
brag.
me as well.
What do you mean brag?
I
Who
hate
likes
the winter.
cold weather?
I hate
That's
winter.
not bragging. Nobody likes the cold.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you know, and a Florida 80 is like, you know, it feels like 100 because you got humidity
All I'm
in there.
saying is, There's no man. If you're a man and you say you like the cold, you're lying. Because the cold can embarrass you.
I don't know, but blankets feel nice.
Oh no, I'm dead.
I can.
Well-
the only thing I like about the cold is you can always put more clothes on, right? But you
Exactly.
can only get so naked before you end up on a
Fable.
registry.
I
So.
don't know. The warm weather down here is very different.
Now I'm curious.
Please
now
don't
I'm
do it
curious.
to me like this.
Owen,
Please don't do it to
Owen,
me
we
like this.
we gotta talk after this because I need to know how
Hello?
many registries you're on. Because of that.
Huh?
Is all of them an answer? If you had Bluestone, that's a dub. He wants it. He wants to hit that hail of arrows.
What was that scream?
That no was like the Tom and Jerry, like no.
Like the.
It's not a no, it's an ouch. he screams ow.
I don't know. I heard like. Yeah.
Oh.
I think we found out what.
Oh, okay, back to 1-to-1.
Back. Okay, we have to have another conversation. Let's go talk with our boy. Let's go sit with our boy over here.
What's
Why is the camera so
1-to-1?
slow?
It's well, you have to.
I think
Does-
mine's
does-
different
hold on,
circumstances
hold on.
because the
Okay.
game's still ongoing.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's my case there.
What is
I-
that creature? Is that Groot?
No, it's like a jade corrupted bull demon.
So here's
think.
why I wanted to have this
Oh, no.
conversation.
That does not look like a bull.
You're a bull.
It doesn't. look
Okay.
like a bull.
Yeah, bulls. No, I'm just playing.
But here's why I wanted to have that conversation.
Right.
Do we give that kill to Arrow since the minions technically got it?
I feel like yes because
no, I
it-
Absolutely, a dub's a dub in the
Absolutely.
1v1.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see 1-to-1 on the scoreboard up there.
exactly.
Okay, well it's 1-to-1. Arrow gets the luck of
Hey,
the
Arrow's getting
minions.
beat on.
and he also is down by almost 1800 damage. So
Who suggested the Uller?
I think
I
that
think
was
it
a
was
combination of both of us.
Okay, I was about to say, surely it was an arrow.
We said on her Uller, and then we're like, yeah, why not both?
¿Por qué no los dos?
and
We're
don't
gonna
forget,
lose.
chat. Don't go anywhere because if this
Yo, why
does
are you
go
this
to a
close to my
game
tower
number
line?
3, you guys get to pick the
What am I
gods that they
axing?
play.
He
I'm
didn't
very
stop
surprised
his back.
Arrow
I
didn't stop
expected
his
more
back.
out of you. Yeah, I was about to say. same wavelength right there. Get up there. Yeah, get in there. It's time for you to be at his tower.
And that immediately changed.
He misses it. Just full retreat.
That immediately changed who was in whose tower. Oh, that hail of arrows hits.
He knew it. He knew it was coming.
So, we are now at 27,000 damage in the difference, and yet it's still 1-to-1.
How many?
I find that hard to believe.
2,700. I'm sorry, 2,700.
The Raptor's not good at numbers.
Whoa.
Numbers
Whoa.
are a little hard.
Hey, I'm just used to seeing that extra 0.
The
I'm missing everything. My hands are cold.
I don't know.
I'm
You
nervous.
should tell my ranked teammates that.
I mean, the 0 is also obviously in the kill column for me, but
It's always in the death column for me.
Do I want to
Unless
go
I'm
to bed right
scrimming,
now?
unless I'm scrimming Arrow's team yesterday, it was a little bit different.
Bro, how are
Wow.
you doing
Actually,
this? You're so good.
I'm a big assist gamer.
Yeah, we're going in
You're
here.
gonna do this garbage again. I know you are. Let me just walk back at this point.
I ask again, do we even need to be here? It's just fun to
No.
listen to Arrow talk.
Oh, man.
If I could
Fable, why is there a
listen
ward on my tower?
Uh,
Oh,
Sounds
that's
like
the
a-
bracer. Okay.
well, surely we need this.
he sounds like a dad, like talking about why someone touched the thermostat.
I actually get really pissy about
Why
that in
did you
my
ward
house, let
my
me tell you.
I do too, actually.
I'm like, I'm paying
yo,
for
it-
that.
At
Oh, yeah,
what
we going
age
here, we
is
going
it
here.
like a thermostat like instinct at that point? So I haven't
Mine, we
developed
missed
it
everything.
yet.
Get sundered.
Somebody.
Well, Fable has picked up his second relic, and as you just heard, it is the Sunder yet again. We talked about the
Oh, wait,
Sunder
what?
on her. Charlie, how's the Sunder? Ooh.
I just killed myself.
Thunder Uller is.
Yo,
even
I'm dying,
better.
I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying. Chill.
Alright, I'm out of here. See you later.
Oh my god.
Don't jump on me.
Thunder
Where you
came
going?
out. One Thunder down.
I can't even talk. I don't know what to talk about.
I know. what
Where
to
you
talk
going?
about. I don't know. Come up to my tower line and find out.
Come
They
to my
both
tower,
just
like-
jumped at each other and
then
walked
walked
away.
away. Yep.
They tried to snake away from each other.
What relics do you have? Okay, I can't go beats then. Ugh.
I like how Arrow is taking this super seriously. Like
You better
talking
hurry up, or these minions are about
um,
to really
You
take this.
blinking beads, and Fable's just over here with a bracer and Sunder.
I didn't get beads, homie.
We are
Ow.
seeing a bit of a deviation in their builds. We are seeing the Hydra's
Wait, really?
Lament
Oh.
coming out of Fable compared to the what I'm assuming is
Bro,
going to be
you're
Crush.
stinky
there's
for
two
that.
Thunders.
Fable wins this.
There's two.
Wait, he's opting to
Thunders.
not attack the tower.
Yeah,
It's like a-
Fable could have very easily won if he attacked the tower.
If you would've
It's like a
opened the tower,
respect thing, right? It's like you
Yeah,
got
yeah.
like
Yeah, I told you we ain't getting them towers.
Ooh, the Sunder trade, but only Arrow's hits. And Arrow still has.
Fable actually has the upper hand with this build, 100%.
No.
Look at
Well,
you gotta hit.
well.
that. Oh no!
Let's
Go in the
let's
jungle.
Hit him right in the head.
So
That-
Fable comes out on top 2-1 with
Bubbly.
nearly 4.5 thousand damage in the lead.
I should've
Fable
went higher.
dominated.
What
Yeah,
am I,
I thought-
doing,
I thought
bro?
you were.
Arrow, why
Well,
did you
team
agree
building
Bro,
to
I had
pull?
no idea. I was gonna go
There's a-
Crusher for some reason.
Okay.
What's the last
So-
one we're doing?
So for those of you who are at home, maybe if you're
Sylvanas?
watching this, you're in the league. Ban Ool from Fable, or he will diff you by about 4.5 thousand damage.
Don't ban Ool if you're fighting Arrow though.
Oh, I'm letting Arrow. I'm
I
letting
play
Arrow.
melee guns.
All
Arrow
right.
needs to practice. Okay.
So
What's the last-
I completely forgot to set this poll up.
Oh, tragic.
Yeah. So chat, you guys get to decide what god these guys get to play. And I'm putting up the poll right now.
What?
Owen, you pick one. Charlie, you pick one.
I want the crit Culeus.
I'm going Terra. I'm going Terra. Full power Terra.
Terra. All right.
Fable, have you played
And
either of
then
those?
I play a lot of Achilles.
Oh no, no,
no,
not
Cricules.
Achilles.
Hercules with crit.
Crit Culeus.
Cricules.
Oh!
Hercules? I don't know if that's a tech, man. I'm just saying.
All
Hey,
right,
that
and then
slaps.
I just have to throw in my girl. All right, poll
Talking
is up
about
for you guys in chat.
My girl.
You are my
I wonder who is
my
Mozart.
brown-eyed girl.
Yes, Raptor.
I
I kind of want to play Hercules. Can we screw the poll
I
and just
would-
play
Can
Hercules?
we screw
I would-
the poll and play
I would pay
Hercules?
for I would pay for an album of that.
Well, hey, lucky for you, it goes on sale tomorrow for about $1,000.
What is
Oh, you ruined it.
So we're playing. If we play Hercules, we're playing with the intention to go crit, but none of us have gotten past 3 items.
this? Correct.
Pretty much,
No,
yes.
So basically, you start with crit. That's the thing.
What?
Oh, I see.
You're insta getting crit. Okay,
So
like
we
Yeah,
go
what,
to level
what
20?
we've seen is people just rushing into
Oh,
Deathbringer.
no.
First
no,
item
you guys are
Deathbringer.
level
No.
3.
yeah, you level 3.
I'm confused.
Rush.
Did
Alright,
you not
so-
watch
Hey,
last
if-
week?
hey-
Imagine not watching the Quackcast every
Hey,
week.
hey!
No
if
way.
you guys want to have some real fun, we can bump up the starting goal to 3,000, so you just get Deathbringer right off the bat.
I think that would not be fun.
I think
Yeah,
that'd
it
be
seems
fair.
like someone's gonna get RNG diffed.
That would go really quickly. So let's just
All
do
right.
it normal.
Well, hey, Cricules, we're
love
about
yourself.
halfway through, and Cricules is winning. I don't care that there's only 3 votes. We're gonna jump in and say Cricules wins.
Sweet.
Alright.
One I voted for.
Do a. Are we gonna do a poll on the winner of this matchup?
It's gonna be Fable. I'll rig it. I don't even care.
A lot of confidence coming out of Arrow's deck, and you know what? That's enough for me. I'm voting Arrow to win this match.
What?
I
Were
don't
you
wanna-
in?
I don't want to agree with the
Uh,
Raptors, so I have to go Fable.
It says match accept.
That's
Oh,
my
Owen's
there we
money's
go.
job
also
to.
on Arrow.
That's
Are you
Owen's
spectating,
job
Raptor?
to go different than me.
No, I'm going Arrow.
Okay,
spectating,
Owen
Raptor?
agrees with me. First time forever.
That's my job.
Maybe
really.
the only time.
Someone has to disagree with me.
Yeah.
The
see,
amount of
that's-
times I've been
that's how about.
casting and then I say something and my chair too is like, I don't know about that. Uchi freaking did it to me 2 weeks ago.
Hey.
It's like
hey.
it's like soon, Raptor. You know, we have to like fight each other in like a league match. So it's like I
Hey,
gotta
that's
get ready.
that's
You
not
have a
this week.
skin?
That's next week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you gotta build it up though. You
So I
gotta get the storyline going.
I don't
a
even
rush
know
Death
who I
Bringer.
play this week.
Hey, just wait until we get into the matchups for this week and next week, because we will be talking about that midseason draft. If you guys want to stick around and see who got picked up where, we will be talking a little bit about the midseason draft and going over stuff like that. But right now,
Oh yeah.
we are about to watch the match of the century, the Crickules 1v1 between Uncle Fable and Arrow, and I just gotta point out, we didn't get it in time to see it, but one of the card arts for one of these skins was just beautiful. It really was. And let me see if I can find.
Hold on.
I'm very scared to see what the laughing's about.
Okay.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you.
They plucked each other, 100%. It always
I don't know
happens
how
every
that
time there's a first mirror match.
I don't know how it hit.
I
Every
think that's
time.
what they were laughing about right
Okay.
there.
So
Oh.
Arrow gets hit with the Sunder
I see.
and still gets his blink off.
I was just about to mention, how'd that work?
So I think it was like legitimately perfect timing where it was mid cast a blink, and you know blink actually has a startup. So I think he hit him during the startup, and then it's still blink.
We're fine.
All right, Charlie,
Yeah.
you are obviously better than Owen here, so I'm gonna ask you this.
Hey.
You're gonna see the Deathbringer start out of Arrow versus what's likely to be a Wind Demon, I'm assuming, out of
thought it
Uncle
was
Fable.
Deathbringer
Which do
Rush.
you prefer?
So
Hercules.
I actually prefer the Deathbringer Rush because you have more attack speed with the Wind Demon Rush, but you actually have more power, which means you're a bit chunkier as a Hercules. So
Chunky.
Yeah.
I
you know,
like to be.
I'm a big for chunk autos on Hercules. So
That Herc wind-up slaps.
exactly.
Oh no,
Uh-oh.
Fable
Yo.
getting pushed into the tower, but the minions are the ones targeted, and Fable gets out scot-free.
Shoves his way back out.
Bro, his mana costs are so stupid.
Oh yeah, no,
Like,
Oh,
these are
dude,
atrocious.
Herc early's miserable.
you have like that.
I
It's
play
like,
a lot of Hercules.
it's like in solo, him and Odin. Like if you lose a blue buff at all, that's your game right there.
Would you say that's more the case with those two gods than, say, like King Arthur or Tyr?
Yeah, because I mean, KA and tier builds, they usually naturally have a lot of MP5 in their builds. Also, their mana costs aren't like insanely high. They just have a lot of abilities. I don't like the
Oh.
sticker. The sticker
So-
scares me.
So it's actually going to be the
The
Shadow
Shadow
Sealed
Seal.
Shuriken
You have it, homie. What is
instead
wrong?
of the Wind Demon. Charlie, going back to you. How do you feel about that compared to the Wind Demon?
You know what?
Alright, I need
Shut up.
and I'll be back.
Shadow Steel does slap here.
Slacks.
You know, you just the anti-heal.
There it is!
Dude,
There it
happens
is!
Every time. He just stood there and took it.
Didn't we see
Fable
that
was-
every single game last week? Every time we saw the Hercules 1v1, we got a double pluck.
It's inevitability.
Bro, you know what? I'm done with this.
What are you doing? Wait.
Who just said they're done with this?
What are you doing?
I'm tired of not having mana, man.
Well, blame whoever
Oh my
voted
gosh.
for Hercules. By the way,
I
there's
feel
only
like-
2 people that voted for Hercules, but it's still
I
won.
was one of them.
I feel like we're about.
I was a big
I feel like we're
Terra
about
fan.
to see Fable get a mana chalice. Yeah, I'm like, I'm like.
That's the only time someone ever says I'm done with this. That's usually leading to a mana chalice.
Yeah. I think this is the first time in like 5 years I've bought one of
running
these.
under tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I can never say I can never say, man, I really want a mana chalice here.
I don't think that I have ever bought one.
I did back when I first started playing because I didn't know
Yeah.
what anything was.
Oh. Come here.
Yeah, oh, and not all of us are
Hey,
immediately.
hey. No, I remember when I first started, I thought health pots worked similar to like World of Warcraft, where it's like
Fable.
it hits
Another
double.
one? We just
It
saw
was like a hunk of health, so like for my first few games of playing, I was just
Thunder.
burning through spots.
the Sunder Polar Bear Mike is not gonna say anything. He's going, but Arrow actually got the blink and somehow got away from that.
If he gets plucked, he dies. He's got to keep going.
He's going.
Does the
He's
Fable
no longer
run in
going.
the tower? He doesn't.
He's going back, actually.
I 100% knowing Fable, I 100% expected him to run under that tower, run under the Phoenix. I expected him to chase him into Fountain and just say, if I go down, you're going down with me.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Well, yet again, we see another
I
about
missed the plug.
1,000
I have no mana.
damage favor for Fable here.
This god was a mistake.
I voted for him.
I know.
That Deathbringer's online now, though. Let's see if RNG has his side.
Okay, so let's compare crit chance right now. Ooh,
Not good.
nice
Ooh, one.
beefy 154 damage crit.
Bro, RNG sucks.
Let's see, we got 30% on the Deathbringer versus
Stop it.
20% on Shadow Steel. So currently, Arrow does have the advantage.
Also, Arrow gets, more damage off of crits as well. He gets that
It's like 25%
extra.
increase, right? Something up.
It is. I believe it's 30. No, it
No,
is
it's
25%. Wow.
Wow.
I thought it was even 30-30. I was like, that's clean.
Oh my, 3.
3! Yeah, how many can we get? How many can we get before this game ends? It's not going to end
There's gonna
anytime
be
soon because we're
at
5 minutes
least,
in.
At least 2 more.
So we are 5 minutes in. Not much of an advantage either side at the moment.
4 more minutes and this lasts longer than the Abyss 1v1.
Hey, it was short but fun.
It was short but fun.
Hashtag short but fun.
Just think, we still have one more 1v1 set to go after this.
Imagine if I didn't waste 600 gold.
See, is it really a waste if you're using it?
Is it a waste if you're alive because of it? You're probably not alive because of it, but...
You won't step up to me right now. Yeah, you are. Okay, bye. Hey, yo.
I like how we just hear that, and as we're hearing that, both of them backed. Well, Fable just got back to lane.
Que
Arrow just
paso,
backed.
papi?
Dude, that's my favorite part about listening to Arrow play. It's just the random
Hey, chill,
Spanish
chill,
that
chill,
comes
chill,
out.
chill, chill, chill.
Alright, I'll be back. Don't you...
The menacing
Whoa.
blink.
Grabs
The
it.
menacing blink actually
149.
worked. Fable
Yo,
actually taking
Arrow's-
a lot
Arrow's
of damage, but
punching.
that chunky heal.
Oh, motherfuck. Sorry, I did it.
It
I
wasn't
think
me!
you actually cut it just short enough.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm proud of you. I 100% expected you to go all the way through with it.
Yeah, I
Apologize.
expected a full commit.
Ooh, we're getting the battle of the crits. RNG's is who do you favor? It's gonna be Uncle Fable. Not even RNG favors him, but he still gets the kill. Anyway.
Really, everything in life is RNG.
I pulled a minion. That's what happened.
I wish RNG would have my back when I buy Powerball tickets.
For real.
Could you imagine just like every single day before you do anything
Wait,
that has
you're
any sort of
online
risk?
with that? Oh my goodness gracious.
Anyway,
Alright!
every
Oh,
single
my.
day before
Don't-
doing anything that has any sort of risk, you're just praying, please RNGs, it's RNGs,
All
bless me
right.
today.
I mean, like, it's sort of, yeah. It's like, please, just don't give
Ooh,
me
the
bad luck.
Sunder. Ooh, the backstep right into it. He's losing the crit battle. He has more crit chance, but he's losing the crit battle. Another Sunder, and just enough to get the kill. Uncle Fable wins game 3.
He was about to die to minions again, too.
We would have had to go talk
NFL teams. So my family is just always Washington fans because my grandpa at the time actually thought Redskins was a good representation for him and our family. So I just grew up a Washington fan.
Hey, would you rather be a Redskin or a commie?
No comment. I'm not like you. I'm not getting canceled today. That's what.
What do you mean canceled? That's a common joke to call the Commanders the commies.
Oh, I know the commies. Oh man,
They're the Washington commies.
we gotta leave Taylor Heineke in. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hey, I feel that I'm a Bengals fan, except we actually made it to the Super Bowl, so how about that? But
I'm a Joe Burrow fan, not a Bengals fan.
Charlie, do you care about football at all, or are we just blabbering?
I am sitting here smiling and nodding. Football, yeah.
Charlie does. I know Charlie doesn't like football because we're talking about the same person that plays casual Smite. So
Okay. Okay. So what if I'm doing casuals and I see Uncle Fable on the other team? I get cued into weekend, and once in a while I'm like, yo, this is awful. I don't like this. Casuals are nightmare times.
So why do you play them?
Because they're fun. It's a fun casual Smite.
Okay, to be fair, I would rather play casuals than ranked any day of the week.
Exactly.
I'd rather play Apex.
Yeah.
I mean, Call of Duty's out, so I'd rather be playing that, but
Oh, the Warzone
I'm not allowed to
2.0
say that
game.
on stream, so Smite's my favorite game in the world. I love Smite.
You
Yeah.
know, all
buy
things
it, right?
aside, all the negative connotations, and whining and stuff, I think Smite's actually a pretty good
It
game.
is,
I mean,
it is
it kind of
really
keeps
good.
you drawn in regardless. of how
I'm very
much you
curious to
start
see how Smite stands, though, with Paragon coming out soon.
I mean, we've been talking about Smite for an hour and a half, so I would imagine that we at least
We have
sorta
to
like-
enjoy it just a little
we sort of
bit,
like the
right?
game a little bit.
Just a little bit. I totally don't have a burger that's sitting right next to me I'm just waiting to dig into.
I'm not trying to have a few beers after this or anything. My wife's making dinner, literally right there. I can just smell it.
Pointing off camera, right there.
Yeah.
Right
Pointing right there.
there.
Right there. Right there. I apologize for the delay, by the way. Sphinx, being the genius that he is, didn't turn off low
That's what I
spectator
was supposed
delay.
to tell you. Whoops.
Massive, huge.
Huge.
Hey,
Way to
you know what,
comment there real
Sphinx? I love you. It's okay. It happens.
Just an average player, bro.
We've had more games without low spectator delay than with, so you're not alone, brother. There's help for everyone. There's a mental health.
Why
help
are you
from-
you're like framing this like a PSA?
I've actually got a PSA that I'm gonna do later.
Okay.
And it's completely for a joke. Don't worry, it's not gonna be a serious PSA. But I'm just practicing. Okay, I'm practicing. I have to get it ready. So if you
Uh-huh.
need serious help, there is. No, I'm kidding.
There is the Invisalign. Let's go.
Yeah. Isn't Invisalign the like?
The
What
tooth
is it?
thing.
The teeth
The
straightening
teeth.
thing?
It's like
Yeah.
a little like retainer type thing.
Yeah. Well, we are
know,
going right.
You
into
should have said
the-
G Fuel because it seems like G Fuel just sponsors everybody no matter what.
No, that's Gamer Subs now. I haven't heard
Or
about
it's
G
Gamer
Fuel.
Subs,
I
that's
haven't
the
heard
one,
about
yeah.
G Fuel in a while.
You're right. Gamer Subs is the one, no matter what.
I don't even drink Gamer Subs. I have an alternative that I like better, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because we're not sponsored by either of them.
I'm just.
So we're
I-
just gonna go right into game. Snowy versus Sphinx, and Snowy kind of just bopping. Sphinx does have that level 2 oboe, so he's just getting free damage out. Let's see, a full 72 free damage coming from that oboe, massive.
Would you rather have 72 or 0? I mean,
I mean-
How worth, especially on her, is rushing oboe?
it's not.
Because I feel like you need power if you're on her especially, and oboe gives you exactly 0. It's all about the attack speed.
Well, here's the thing: is Sphinx
Goes
said it
out.
before he started. Hey man, it's an Abyss player, so it's kind of like letting us know that I might need some help clearing these waves.
I
'Cause
also can't hit autos. I'm not on ADC.
Sphinx is not an ADC. We all know this. Well, I'm. How do I put this? My only interaction with... I absolutely love Sphinx, but whenever I hear his name, I immediately think to a moment that I have clipped and saved on my computer forever. It was Season 3, I want to say. Yeah, Season 3 of the QSL. I was playing mid lane for the Ferrymen. He was on the Boon Boys, playing a jungler. He was Ratatasker for Game 1. I was Scylla. He ults me under tower. I crush him, sick him, and just watch him die to the tower shots. I literally just stood there and watched him, and it was the funniest shit I've ever done. And whenever I hear Sphinx, that's whatever I hear. I realize I just cursed.
Yeah, whoa.
I wasn't gonna say anything, buddy. You called yourself out. You should have rode that one out.
we were just like, all right, you know. That's a oopsie whoopsie right there, but...
For those who have known me for a long time but haven't talked to me recently, they're going to be shell-shocked, because I don't normally curse. I just started doing it recently.
That influences Owen.
Did you get into witchcraft? Get it? Don't make me explain it or it'll just not be funny.
That's why you're the caster. That's why you're the caster, right? Because you say the cringy stuff.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know, man. You got me beat most of the time on cringy comebacks and stuff like that.
I don't have you beat on the cringy comebacks. I'm just more creative with it.
if okay.
Do a cringy comeback if I never cast. So, really, I'm the big winner today.
Yeah, Charlie's just the normal guy here. He's just the Shallows player that we invited on because he knows how to talk Smite.
Yeah, I'm just gaming. I'm a big talker, and that's about it. That's about it. A big talker. You know, I play a little bit of solo lane on the side. That's about it.
Well, we're not at this segment yet, but this game, nothing exciting
That's
has really
good.
happened yet. How is the season going for your fledglings?
You know,
It's been good TV.
So, all right. So imagine like how good this game is going for Snowy right now. That's kind of how good our season's been so far.
So good.
So, yeah, very good. So, it's nice. We're having a good time.
Ooh,
when we get into and see, just like that, exactly what I was preluding.
What do you guys? Wait! Why are you saying it like that? I'm pretty sure you guys are tied for first place in the division. If I'm not mistaken.
Who Sphinx's team?
No, Charlie's team, the fledglings.
Yeah.
Yeah, tied with who?
Yeah, but I mean, if we're tied though, if we're tied for first, that means still number one there. So, it's a really good season still.
So why are you comparing yourselves to Sphinx?
I'm comparing myself to Snowy. I'm saying Snowy.
Oh, you were comparing yourself to Snowy.
Yeah.
I thought you were comparing yourself to Sphinx.
No,
that's why I'm so confused.
Oh no.
Oh, Sphinx. Unfortunately. Oh, a massive, horrific emblem. I actually learned that a Relic's name just for a cast like that.
What did you call it before? Slow boy?
Red.
No, I called it Deathly Hallow for some reason.
Deathly Hallow.
I always. So if you go back to any stream from like over the past year where I'm casting and there's a horrific emblem, as soon as it's popped, I go, "Oh, the Deathly Hallow comes out," and I'm just like, "Why the hell do I keep calling it Deathly Hallow?"
What? I don't even know like how you get that comparison like together. It's not even like
we're
I can
watching
like
Harry Potter, bruh.
Why is it Scottish? Why is
that was awful.
You told me I was cringy. Unbelievable. Sphinx actually winning this try. Never mind. I spoke too soon. I spoke weird. Hey, Sphinx was putting in a little bit of the booping and bopping, you know what I mean?
Don't compliment Sphinx, it immediately turns cockeyed as soon as you do.
Slinging around that yoinky splinky. Dude, Sphinx, you can't lose this tower, buddy.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming onto the tower. Remember, if this tier 1 tower does fall, then that will be an instant win for Snowy, whether she gets the second kill or not. Sphinx has to be very careful here. The Snowy, ooh, a great impale, gets the stun, but just out of auto range. Snowy will be okay. A little bit of a taunt there before she starts recalling.
It's not a taunt. Lion's
That's
Roar,
not?
come on. No, it is. I was just
about to
defending.
say, I don't play on her, and I don't play
Oh.
against him much. Oh,
Oh.
massive trade of jumps in favor of Sphinx, but Snowy turns it right around.
Transcendent stack diff.
Yikes.
That's a
I
massive.
say it every time. It's always the
Yeah.
trans stacks.
Trans stacks change everything. 49 trans stacks, that's gonna bother me this entire time that I'm looking at it, seeing that she didn't get fully stacked before that game ended.
How do you feel about that, Snowy?
It sucks. It happens.
It's tragic.
It
It just hurts my
It's like-
brain, I guess.
You know The
Like,
Office? You know The Office, like Andy Bernard, where he's like, he starts singing and everyone would stop him, and then he would just be like, I have an unresolved melody in my head now, and it's gonna bother me all day.
Okay, don't hate me. I've only
No,
seen
already.
a couple
Shh.
episodes of The Office.
Already.
I haven't watched very much of it.
Have you watched Breaking Bad?
It's on my to-do list.
Okay, I was gonna
Wow.
say I forgive you, but I'm really against you now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm on Owen's side here.
Congrats,
you know.
buddy, you just made my list.
I keep misspelling Sphinx's name. Why do I keep spelling it wrong? It's so simple.
You just made my list.
Was
Make
I
sure
not on it
load-
already?
Yeah, you were. Make the make sure low spectators on, please.
Yeah, Sphinx, please.
Was it?
Which one's next? Uller?
I believe.
You guys can
Unless
decide.
you guys
The
wanna do
trend has
something
been
else.
Uller, but if you guys want to do something else, then
I'm down for whatever. God knows I've never played Uller.
Is there
Why
a
would you be down
character
to
that you
play
play that you want
Ulden?
to play?
No.
well, now's your chance, buddy.
Random gods? Does it have to be a mirror match?
Imagine if we rolled random gods and then we got into an Ul mirror matchup. How crazy would that be?
Gotta go to the casino again.
That never works out. Somebody's
never
gonna get
does.
somebody's
It
gonna get
never
like
does.
Bakasura, and the
Someone
other guy's
needs-
gonna get Ymir.
Someone needs to do the math and think how unlikely is it that we get an Ul mirror matchup with a random god roll.
I mean, I imagine because how many gods are in the game?
There's 123 gods in the game right now.
So it's 1 in 246 chances that happens.
Where'd you get
Right, because you got a 1
246?
because you got a 1 in 123 chance for one of you to get it. Now what are the odds that 2 of you get
But
it?
you got to think with each of those gods, there's a combination of another 123 gods that it can go against.
What god do you
So
want to do,
it's
Snowy?
123 to the
Uller or
123rd
whatever you-
power.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Right, yep. Let's roll
I joined the
Uller.
Marine Corps for a reason.
You
I'm
wanna
not,
do-
Join the Marine Corps. for a
Yeah.
reason.
I'm not math capable.
First time I play him is this. See how it goes.
Charlie, you want to do the math for that?
I actually am at the moment because I'm interested. 123. So it is. Oh, I'll round that off. I'll do that.
We're just waiting patiently.
We're just waiting here,
Um,
just sitting back like an evil madman, evil genius.
all right.
Let's spectate
So-
on, right?
Yep.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
So I actually have a number.
Okay.
So, I realized that I didn't do this correctly. So I didn't format this correctly. So if I take away this too, all right. So it is a 0.006561% chance to both get the same god, which is extremely low, because the chance to get the same, or to get one god in general, is a 0.0081% chance.
That's not even counting that we were running like specifically Uller. We're not wanting
Yeah.
just
So that's
a mirror
yeah.
matchup.
So that's like, what is the 0.006? Is that like 6 thousandths? Is that right?
So there are
Because there's
four.
tenths, hundredths, and then thousandths.
So there are 4 leading zeros to that.
Oh,
Ooh.
so
So
10
that-
thousandths?
That's a 0.06 chance to get a mirror matchup by itself. So
No, that's a .000006.
It is a 0.00006561 chance because
To get a mirror.
oh, it was already in percentage.
it was already in percentage. Yes,
Oh.
I had to format it.
So how? That's just to get a mirror matchup. I need to tune in this weekend for a cast where I reveal just how much of a percentage it is to get an mirror matchup with a random
You're
god
gonna
roll.
take this week to figure it out.
it would
and then
be-
get back to everybody.
Well, it'd be that percentage because it's the same god.
Well, no, that's the percentage we're looking for at like a mirror matchup by itself. We're looking for a specific god to have our mirror match with. And I don't
see
know
what you're
how to
saying.
figure that out. So,
I see what you're saying. So maybe then you would take that and again take that
all
decimal
that
and then again times the number of amount of gods. Maybe.
Yeah,
So that's that specific god.
yeah. So you would multiply that by another 0.0081% chance.
I like how we're just here talking about math while our viewers are just watching. Oh wait, no, we're not. We're not even in game. I messed up.
Wow.
I messed up.
It better not be a kill already. Okay.
There wasn't.
So
I was
he
just,
sets up the
I was
lobby
just watching
correctly,
this.
and then Raptor gets distracted by the numbies.
We were talking
and then we
about
see
math,
Snowy
but math
going
was
like
good
a
enough to
monster.
distract me.
That was one of the boldest leaps I've ever seen, and somehow it just didn't result in death.
So I will say, when I found out Snowy was in
I don't know how
D1,
to play Uller. This is whack.
when I found out Snowy was 1v1ing, I got very excited because I've watched quite a few Snowy games, and Snowy is probably like verbatim my favorite player to watch because Snowy in ADC, no one survives, and now it literally just feels like a race against the clock, and it's amazing to watch.
Look at that
So-
shillelagh.
Lately,
What?
Shillelagh.
What did you just say?
like a fangirl moment, and
Snowy
then
build. Shillelagh.
oh,
Right? That's what that's called? Yeah.
it,
The only
oh,
reason
like,
I know is because Fafnir. So.
I'm listening to them
What
like,
about Fafnir's?
Because
But it's the,
Fafnir always goes shillelagh in the
like,
the
well,
pot of gold skin. So then I drew me to Google what a
leprechaun
shillelagh
skin.
was. And now I know that that's a shillelagh.
Is that your favorite Fafnir skin? The pot of gold?
It is. Oh yeah.
it has like
Fafnir
3
has to be
skins.
one of the most
has-
satisfying gods, I think. Because when you
Well,
hit somebody
he's
with your
not
hammer,
anymore
it's
because
just
he's
like
not in the game.
he's back, isn't he?
He's back.
Oh, they fixed him
But-
finally?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they fixed him.
But I love it because like it feels like when you hit somebody with your hammer, it's just like a big like shut up, like you know what I mean, like stop immediately what you're doing.
It's a big word that we're not allowed to say on stream.
Yeah,
It's
like a
directed to you.
big hey screw you pal.
Yeah, screw you. That's the way. That's the word we were looking for. I don't know why we said we weren't allowed to say it.
It's so funny when a character's channeling too. Like you have a Yu Wong utilizing like his 2, or like a Tiamat or something charging their 1. You just hit them right in the mouth.
A character with the same effect but like a different like style, I find it a bit more satisfying is like Horus too. Like interrupting something with Horus feels so satisfying.
I'm a big Horus solo lane.
I'm
fan.
also a big
I play
Horus
Horus in
lane.
solo all
Yeah.
the time.
It's just so I think that's that's like my dream Guan matchup right there. I'm like, they're going Guan, you know, we messed up and picked some bands hard. That's fine. You know, I'll just go Horus, like bottom 2.
So you're saying Haddix they always mess up their picks
No,
and
I
bans,
mean
and
for-
that's why
no,
Haddix
for-
plays Horus?
No,
Horus
no, no,
goes
no.
crazy.
Horus does go crazy, but that's my
And he's
situation.
not one of
where I
those
pick
gods
Horus.
that's like necessarily taken from you or banned from you.
Yeah,
so
it's like
you can kind of just get whatever you want first.
You're not wrong.
it's very nice, especially because like, you know,
Wow,
usually-
Snowy's going the full toxic. She got thorns too. I love it. I actually love it. Sphinx does fall for
Precision.
first blood. Snowy with that Blackthorn Thorns build. I love it.
Big
I'm a-
Thorns fan.
So they buff Thorns. Did you see that? Is Kuzumbo coming back? now?
No.
Oh God,
No.
no.
No, he is not. I hate to rain on your parade, but I don't see a world where
Can
I've
you
seen
still
some seasons in rain.
Can you still pluck Kuz? Yeah, but that's a ranked player. Those guys are weird. Have you Is it still possible to pluck like a Wheelix pluck somebody out of Kuzenbo's push?
His push or his?
So for the longest time, you could actually a Wheelix ult somebody when Kuzenbo's pushing them, not ulting them when he's pushing them.
What?
Yes, you guys didn't know that?
This is news to me.
It's actually not common knowledge. I heard I forgot who it was. I heard someone on stream talking about it one time. It might have been like Final K or somebody, but I was like, there's no way. And I went into jungle practice and tested it, and it worked. That was a long time ago, so I don't know if that's still a thing or maybe if it was patched. I don't know if it was intentional or not.
Yeah, I think it's definitely patched. I want to say it's
definitely
patched.
wasn't intentional.
Well, I mean, technically he lifts them and pushes them.
I don't think he does lift.
Yeah, he does.
I mean,
I
it's
think
called,
it's
it's
like a
called,
drag.
He
it's called
picks them up and
sumo
runs
slam?
with them, basically, is what
Isn't
it
it
is.
called sumo slam?
Yeah,
Isn't that
it's
his
like you're
ability?
slamming into them.
And sumo slam, they pick them up slightly. They grab around
Yeah.
their legs, pick them up, run with them. That's a sumo slam.
That's what I'm saying. That's what Kuzenbo does. He picks them up and runs with them.
I'm very curious now. What his anime? If like it's an actual.
No,
I don't
so
think
here's the
they
thing.
actually picks him up.
Cool.
No,
So we
no,
get
no.
a Kuzenbo 1v1.
I got the ultimate, trump card here. Kuzenbo charges forward, immune to slows, damaging enemy minions and silencing using his immense strength to push the first enemy god he hits along with him. So he pushes them.
I mean,
Yeah, but he
technically,
picks 'em up
sumo
and pushes
wrestlers are pushing them
You
as
can't
well.
technically. It's a push. He pushes them. It is not.
Oh, we gotta check this. I gotta go to jungle practice.
We haven't talked about the game this entire time, and Snowy just beat Sphinx.
That was
We didn't
actually a
talk
really
about the
good hail of
game
arrows
once.
too.
Oh, we did. We talked about the thorns. We talked about the blackthorn.
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh.
This shillelagh.
Shillelagh. Yeah.
We didn't talk about
Horus.
Sphinx. Okay, fair.
We talked
didn't
about
talk about
Horus.
Sphinx once that entire game.
Well, now's your chance,
It's just kind
Raptor.
of been there.
Oh, now's your chance in the post game too.
Yeah, hey, Sphinx. Since we didn't talk about you at all, you go to the first one for post game interview.
What do you want me to say?
What do you want to say?
What do you want to say?
No. That was the first time I played Uller, and I did not like it.
Not
I
an
take
Uber.
offense to that as a diamond duel.
Not
Ah,
an Uber.
dude, that sucks.
Look, I said it last time when Chef played. I'll say it again. They're lucky I wasn't in there.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a certified
We'll throw you
Ull
into the
demon.
Abyss matchup next week.
I'm a certified Ull demon, dude. Match me up.
We'll throw you
He
into
has
the,
his
we'll throw
license.
you into the Abyss 1v1 next week, and it'll be 3 games of nothing but Ull, and we'll see how it goes.
Oh, I'll win that. Yeah, it's bold of you to assume it goes to 3. It's a quick 2-0.
I don't think I think your confidence is misguided. It's a 2-0 the other way, my friend.
Oh no, I got you. You'll see.
But Sphinx, what happened in that set? That was very quick.
I mean, not an ADC. I can't hit autos, and I've never used his kit before.
Not an ADC and played 2 divisions up, right? So it went as we would expect. No offense.
So, and yeah.
Short but fun, right? I don't think you were here
Hashtag
to
short but fun.
enjoy the quality of that joke, but short but fun, right?
Hashtag
here we go again. Call me up and you wanna be my friend. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Week 4 Quackcast for Season 7 of the Quackin' Smite League. I am still Raptor, and I am still with Char Goat!
I was left alone.
Unfortunately, we are left alone. Owen did have to leave, so that space down at the bottom is just lonely. It's
Free real estate.
It's free real estate. Hey, if you want to take Owen's spot next week, leave your application down below. This is Twitch, not YouTube.
Vacancy.
But hey, I'm Raptor, he's Charlie, and we are going to go over last week's matches and go over the coming week's matches and the standings. And I can't talk right now, so let's just get going before I have an aneurysm. But let's just start with the very first week of matches. We might as well call this the weekend of the forfeits. The forfeits strike back. Whatever movie pun you want to make. Because half the matches didn't even get played. I mean, you can see right here. We were supposed to have a match between the Swarm and the Tyrannos.
Well, no, that's a bye.
No. It was actually supposed to be a match, but I called it a bye because both teams forfeited. No team got points, so I just said, "Oh, it's a bye." Yeah. 4 teams were supposed to be active in the Abyss division this weekend, and 3 of them forfeited and get 0 points. So we will go over the one team that got points in a little bit, but yeah. So if I sound a little salty, it's because our job is very easy today. We have nothing to talk about.
For Abyss, yeah, it's real tough, hard-fought games out there. Woo, yeah.
Yeah, just wait till we get to the standings and see that. That's actually very interesting in all defense. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But going to the Raptors, to games that were actually played, the Raptors versus the Priests and Legion versus the Mighty Horns. These two, I called the Legion and the Mighty Horns especially, but both of these were in the running for game of the week or set of the week last week, and both of them, especially the Legion and the Mighty Horns, they really lived up to the hype. And Raptors and Priests, unfortunately, I did not watch that one. It did happen on Sunday instead of the Friday when every other match did. So I don't have a lot to say about that, but that's 2 very good teams going head-to-head still. But let's just jump right into the Legion versus the Mighty Horns. We can talk about those 2 teams earlier. Legion versus Mighty Horns. I streamed this game live. I was casting this game live. And let me tell you, this set lived up to the hype. These are 2 of the best teams in the division, hands down, and it was fun to watch them with the Mighty Horns coming out on top 2-1.
Yeah, I did not expect to see Mighty Horns take this one. But when they did, that it was massive. Like, I was sitting here, I'm like, okay, so now the whole complexion of your top 3 will change off these next 2 weeks.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun to talk about the rankings once you see. Points. Once you see the points, it's gonna be so fun to talk about that.
Yeah. So Mighty Horns were able to really get off on such a good foot with Azure and Bracking, especially. Those 2 players they're already standout players in their teams, but they had standout sets on top of that. Even Jaeger and Brotaku stepping up and really being a team full of superstars, being able to take down Legion, who were undefeated going into the set, is such a huge, massive upset, and really starts to change everything on how this top 3 is going to function in the next 2 weeks. Points are a whole lot tighter now, so it's going to be a lot of fun to watch these top 4 teams moving forward.
It really is, and can we just talk about the unsung heroes? Spades and Buckwheat, the supports for their respective teams. We were, so on the cast, we were shouting out Rodrigo, we were shouting out Jaeger, we were shouting out Sir Patron, Deathly Shriek, Neptune Spartan. All of these players were making big plays. But in each and every game, it was Buckwheat and Spades who really stepped up, and I think that they were the most fun to watch, and that's hard for me to say because support is my least favorite role to play. they were fun to watch, and these guys made some really big plays that impressed me. In all honesty, their score lines, their KDs especially, will not show that, but they were really unsung heroes for this set.
Yeah, watching them and those two supports were just going at it, looking for play after play, really trying to set up their team to get as much value as they can. I know Buckwheat on this Athena was actually a really big thorn in Apti's side towards the end of that game one. It was really fun to watch that, and I think that it was I don't know. It's on YouTube if you want to go watch it. It is such a fun set to watch. I could not recommend it more. It is it's a nail biter, really.
It really is, and that was such a fun set to cast. Of course, I was on the production side, so you don't want to actually hear my voice on it. But hey, it was still fun to cast. And I hate talking about the Legion. We're gonna have to talk to. Don't take this the wrong way, Uchi, but each and every week we've done this show, the Legion have had a big matchup, and it's gonna continue this week. And I'm tired of talking about your team. I'm sorry, Uchi. We'll get to that later, but just know, I'm tired about talking about the Legion. But we just have to. We just have to.
I mean, top teams.
I mean, they have arguably their biggest matchup this week, which is weird to say because that Mighty Horns match was a massive matchup for them. But let's move on to the next set. And we only have one set to talk about in this one. Spacemen and the Astroducks both forfeited, unfortunately, so they both went down 0-2. The Foremen are the only team in the Abyss division to get any points this past weekend. But the Starhoppers and the Journeymen, this one was so close. This was a top one. This was the number 1 team versus the number 3 team, but there were only like 2 points separating them in the standings at the time. And it really stood out. And I have to shout her out. Snowy really stepped up for the Starhoppers.
This set was really fun to watch. You got to see Journeyman, finally show like a couple crack. Journeyman as a team were looking at this deep sea division, just looking like the best team. You had Ferrymen, you had Journeymen, and now Starhoppers starting to enter in that conversation a bit. Start to put some cracks in Journeymen, showing that they're not a flawless team and that there are weaknesses you can't exploit. So whether future teams are able to do this or not is left to see, or if it was just Starhoppers being the Journeyman little kryptonite Superman in. So I'm really excited to see how these two teams continue to develop. And if I had to pick, 2 players from each side, Snowy had a really good set, and same did Clucknuts. Clucknuts also had a very consistent set where I think that he was able to provide a lot of impact, even in games where they were down a little bit. And on the other side, it would have to be Corbin and Craig. These two, they just get in there so much, and it's so fun to watch them.
I mean, talking about Clucknuts especially, game 2, he really turned it around. He looked like he was struggling a little bit on that Kernanos in game number 1, going 2-4. But in game number 2, 7-2-11 on that Vulcan.
Yeah.
And then Snowy going 11-2-9 on that Pele. Like, 2 Icy looked super comfortable on that On Her. I absolutely he was a lot of fun to watch on that On Her. Animated looked at the best he had been on that set on that Kepri, and I think that in game 3 banning that away from Animated was when the Journeyman won that set. But Clucknuts and Snowy, really, if you want to shut down this Starhoppers team, you have to shut those 2 players down, because if even one of them gets on pace, they just run the game. And in game number 2, they really showed that they took full control of that game because both of them really popped off.
Gotta shut down the 2 Goliaths of the Starhoppers team. Otherwise, you're not winning a set against these 2. Yeah. And Journeymen were able to do it, but, showing that even against the best team, they're able to still have their superhero feats.
Yeah, and for the Journeymen on the other side, I mean, they as you said, the Starhoppers showed chinks in their armor. The Journeymen, I don't think that they had dropped a single game before that set. I could be wrong, but I don't think that they did. And they end up dropping a game, and I think that it really showed. You shut down Gumbo in the jungle, and their whole plan doesn't fall apart. But they really couldn't get anything going. It's very clear that Gumbo is just the pinnacle of that team, and if you shut him down, they have ways to fall back on, but it's a lot easier to just run the game if you shut down that jungler.
So the only other game that this Journeyman's team has dropped was against Ferryman, another top 3 team. So if that doesn't cement, if that does not cement Starhoppers up in that top 3 conversation, I don't know what will.
And I mean,
top 3, top 4.
It's gonna be crazy because the Starhoppers face the Ferrymen in week 7, the last week of the season. So that's gonna be absolutely crazy. That's gonna be a fun game to watch. I cannot wait for that one. And just as well, in that game where the Ferrymen did win, Gumbo was playing ADC that set, but the jungler for that team, which it was Rigid Rigel. But can we just talk about that? Rigid Rigel was on this team, and then they lose him to the Abyss Division, and they haven't really misstepped at all. Like, let's just talk about that. Gumbo moved from ADC to the jungle after he left, and then they got a new ADC, and they are still just as good.
They're absolute beasts. That Journeyman team is such a scary idea to go up against.
Yeah.
So,
but
very glad I'm in Chalice.
Rip Owen.
Rip Owen.
Say your prayers now. Actually, come to think of it, I think he plays the Journeyman this weekend. So, Rip Owen.
Rip Owen.
But moving on to our third set, and this one is an actual bye. The Reapers actually had a bye this week. But the Ferrymen went 2-0, and a game that you are very knowledgeable in. The Fledglings going 2-0 over the Serbs, so splitting the set between the two organizations.
And of course Fledglings are very knowledgeable on, but let's start with the deep set. This Ferryman's set going 2-0.
It was an FF, unfortunately.
It was an FF, yeah.
It was a forfeit.
I was going to say, it was very unfortunate because Poets kind of had a little bit something to prove here, where they were like, all right, we had some unlucky starts to our season, but we can start to get this back now, and hopefully with their roster swaps they made through mid-season, that maybe they start to find a little bit more success. But for Fledglings and Serbs, it was a fun set. Game 1 was perfect. It's just heal comps are just not fun to go again. Like they're just not fun, man. Like, Chang'e.
Let's count the healing. Chang'e, Guan Yu, Pele. You could count CERN in there with his built-in lifesteal, and then Khepri giving you the passive shield.
Yeah, we're kind of cringe. So yeah, game 1 is it goes perfectly for us. Game 2 is a lot more closer. That is me on 3-10 on the Kabrakan, and I am going to be on the podcast fighting for my life here. So B-More did not get to play late game, so I'm going to say that 3-10 was me doing my job, and therefore my stat line may be inting, but it was inting with purpose.
Hey, you can't complain when you got the Char goat on your team. But that set, it really was something fun. I didn't watch it, unfortunately, but I heard stories about it, and I was and just looking at the screenshots, game 2 looks like it was a blast in a really close game. Silliest Goose, he was doing nothing silly that game. He went 10
gets
and 4.
in there. He gets in there. Me dying 10 times, really that was just setting up for Goose to not die 10 times. He just gets in there with such purpose. I love him, and Stormy's always there to follow up. It's such a great team dynamic. I love it. I love my guys. I love them. Proud of them.
That is a lot of fun. And that is important. I've been on teams where I don't like my teammates, and that every week is just do I really have to do this? That's probably what the Abyss division's saying right now. It's just a really good dynamic if you can enjoy your teammates as well as the game, and
Exactly.
I'm very happy to see the fledglings there. But moving on to the next set, and this one, I don't want to say anything. I think that these two are the worst orgs statistically. We'll talk more about this in the rankings, but these two organizations, all three of their teams, except the Patricians, who, did have a bye this weekend. But
also have a team. Also have a team in Abyss.
True, you're not wrong. But the four bottom teams, the plebeians, the plebbies, the frost foxes, and the frost pups, they all really are just struggling this entire season. The frost foxes, they're on the up and up, so they might be able to work their way out of that conversation. But they did just fall 2-0 to the plebeians. There's just not a whole lot to say about these two orgs, just because it is really just back and forth. And yes, the plebeians did win by forfeit, so we don't even know if the frost foxes would have truly lost that set. I think that's the last forfeit, right? This is the last set of organizations where you have to talk about, but that is the last forfeit we're talking about.
That is the last forfeit. The Shallows one did get played. There were 2 games played. Game 1 was a forfeit, but after that game 1 forfeit, Frost kind of showed up. Game 1 was a close game. But this comp for Frost Pups is just disgusting. You're running a double hunter with Cthulhu Daji. Like, that's such a nasty team fight. And goodbye, the plebeians jungler Noxus. It looks like he was really trying to keep them in the game for as long as possible. Putting up 32k damage on the Circuit, going 13, 7, and 4. Just, trying to mitigate as much losses as they can. But with that comp from Frost Pups, it's just so disgusting. And that's what most likely led into, actually both games were kind of close. They were 33-21 is still a closer game.
Yeah.
It's not a stop.
Both games were really close, and I just don't know. It's going to sound bad, but I just don't have a lot to say about either of these teams, because as we're about to see as we go into the rankings, which are coming up next, both these teams are just really struggling. And if you want to know how badly the plebbies are struggling, they only have 1 point. Well, actually, let's just go into the standings now while I'm talking about that. The plebbies, they only have 1 point. And that 1 point was a forfeit win. That one game where the Frost Pups forfeited. So the plebbies really have to turn something up. And the Frost Pups, before that set, they were tied with the Astroducks at 3 points. Because they did not 2-0, they're still very much in jeopardy of the Astroducks overtaking them. But
I think Astroducks have already played Frost Pups, so then Astroduks would have to see success in these last 2 weeks, and Frost Pups would have to not see success in these last 2 weeks in order for them to usurp Frost Pups here.
Well, there are 3 weeks left, so it isn't like all is dire.
There are
no teams that are mathematically eliminated from the playoffs yet.
Yeah.
But the plebbies, I just don't know how to feel about them. I really don't. They're such a strange team to talk about because they show glimpse of greatness. Like you saw, they were keeping it close there with the Frost Pups, but they just weren't able to close out any games. And
I think that team struggles from a lot of as a revolving door of rosters. It feels like they're always missing a player or two, so it feels like it's constantly emergency free agent sub, and then it's where it's like you're constantly playing a couple people down, playing with people you've really never played with before. So it's like I think that's the main thing plaguing them at the moment, to being all the way down here. They have glimpses of, they flashes of brilliance, but then it gets torn right back down because the other team has just played together for a little bit longer.
Yeah. And we're going to go through each of these divisions in a
Mhm.
little bit, but you see what I'm saying by those are the two orgs that are struggling the most.
Oh yeah.
Frost Foxes are number 7, Plebeians are number 6, Frost Pups are number 6, Plebbies are number 8. Like these two organizations, and only the Pleb Esports, they have the Patricians at number 2 in a
Mhm.
admittedly who can show up division in the Abyss. So the Frostborn, they don't even have that, and so these two organizations, they really just have to turn something around in those lower two divisions, because if you keep playing like they are, you are not. If you even make the playoffs, you're not going to get past round 1, and so they really need to fix some things up there.
Wonder which division, like statistically doing the. Yeah, I'm guessing it'd be the crew, because it's top 2, and then apprentices are not like a bottom team.
They're number
That's
they're number
number
5, so they're bottom
number 5.
4. They're lower
Bottom
half,
4.
but they're only 1 point behind there. I'm not
Exactly.
sure. I'll have to do the math, and
You need a base stat total.
the crew are obviously favored there because they do have the 12 points and the 10 points, and they're the only Abyss team that got points this past weekend. If you can't tell that I'm upset at the Abyss division, I'm upset at the Abyss division. Why was not a single match played? I don't think we've casted a single Abyss set since week 1. And I'm as the casting director, I'm just so confused about that. But let's go division by division, finally, right?
Right.
So Foreman, 12 points. They cleanly have themselves first place. I don't want to say locked because the Patricians are right on their tail, but one more win, and even if it's a 2-1 win, and I think that they are locked in right there in that number 1 slot. Patricians number 2 at 8 points. Spacemen and Tyrannos, who they actually play this weekend. That's number 4 points and 3 points at number 3 and 4 respectively. And then Reapers and Swarm. These are the two teams, Swarm especially, that are just plaguing. That are just plagued with forfeits, players not being able to show up, having to play with subs, all that, and it's clearly showing they only have 0 points across the board.
Yeah, it's just I feel like that's just how it is sometimes. You know, you gotta show up, be able to show up to sets, and Reapers have I believe yet another bye week this week, so they might be able to work out a couple more kinks in their game plan, and hopefully we'll see them back in a much improved form, getting ready for playoffs.
I'm hoping we see that throughout the entire Abyss division, especially considering we just had the midseason draft. All these teams just got one more player, possibly 2 if they were quick on the draw with the waiver wire free agent pickups. So I'm really hoping to see that division improve. I'm just really not happy with how that division is playing out. It's literally just who shows up the most and gets the points, and that's not how a draft league especially should be run.
Yeah, I agree.
Moving on to a more fun division to talk about, the Deep Sea division. 10 points. 2 teams tied for first place at 10 points. Starhoppers right behind them, only 1 set behind at 7 points. The Raptors, who, again, Starhoppers play. Look at this. So in the Abyss division and the Deep Sea division, number 3 and number 4 are facing each other, and they both are only 1 point off. That's a massive matchup, and I cannot.
That is make or break for some of these teams.
It really is, especially considering Priests 5 points, 1 point behind the Raptors at number 5. Plebeians 1 point behind the Priests at number 6. Frost Foxes and Poets, they're currently on the hot seat at 2 points and 1 point respectively.
Yeah, as part of the Bards, I really hope that Poets are able to find some more consistency with this mid-season draft and be able to really, hone in, start to take some of these, take some spots back. But Journeymen and Ferrymen are just looking so dominant. Like in any games I see from them, it's just like 90% of the time it's just clean. It looks like it was pre-planned, it was premeditated, and they're just executing on it so well. In this past Journeyman set, we saw a little bit little bit fumbling of the bag, but we still saw them get out their 2-1 victory. So I'm really excited to see how they keep on doing because Journeymen are still undefeated. Ferrymen have been defeated by the Journeymen, but with them being tied up in points, Journeymen, every win now counts for them. They need to start taking these in 2-0 fashions.
Yeah, let's not forget that the Ferrymen's only loss, the only reason they don't have 12 points right now, is because they did drop that set to the Journeymen, but the only reason they're tied is because they did take that one game off of it. Technically,
Exactly.
Journeyman has the tiebreaker, so Journeyman's technically 1 and Ferrymen are technically 2. Who cares about that? They're tied with points. That doesn't matter until we do the bracket reveal. But we especially have to talk about the Journeymen. They got past the Starhoppers. The Starhoppers still have to play the Ferrymen. That's going to be one crazy set. And if the Starhoppers can take a game off the Journeymen, I'm super excited to see if they can take down the Titans that are the Ferrymen. And we'll just have to wait and see how the points shake up come later in the season. But if the Starhoppers topple the Ferrymen very well might drop to 3, and the Starhoppers might get that week 1 bye in the playoffs, which would be huge for them.
Oh yeah, massive. Like these top 2 teams, like they're really fighting for something because we want to always make sure that we have a clean finals run, and for that to be in jeopardy is something that is a little scary. It gets you a little bit on your toes. You start to it's like cold tile. Think of it like that. Where we get a little antsy around it. So I expect both Starhoppers and Ferrymen to really try to take these sets as cleanly and as efficiently as possible, looking to take these in 2-0s. Same with Journeymen, so that they're able to secure that number 1 spot for the division.
Yeah, and let's not forget that no teams might be at risk for being mathematically removed from the playoffs this week. But teams can secure their spots in the playoffs this week. Like the Journeymen and Ferrymen, they get 2-0 wins, and they're in the playoffs. They don't have to worry about dropping below number 6 for the rest of the season. And that's really big. So that they are playing their hearts out this week to try and get those 2-0 wins. And then the Starhoppers and Raptors, they face each other this week. That is a massive matchup for the both of them. The winner very well might secure their 3rd spot and are fighting for the number 2 spot, while the loser is just fighting to get back to number 3. That's a huge set for both of them.
Massive playoff indications there, because it's kind of, you get to test your mettle against some of these your closer competition in terms of standings. And if Starhoppers or Raptors are able to get a dominant 2-0 coming off this set, then I think that they could get that confidence to maybe take down, another top team later down in their schedule. So really excited to see how things go for them.
Yeah, and then one team that we haven't talked about at all, we've talked about all 7 teams, the Priests, they are sitting right there. One win or one loss literally makes or breaks determines how they're going to treat the rest of their season. They can't lock in either spot, either being locked into the playoffs or being mathematically removed from the playoffs this weekend. But this weekend is still big nonetheless. You drop a set and you very well might drop below the plebeians, and you're suddenly on the hot seat.
Yeah, it's a really tense situation you're put in if you're Priest. It's very make or break at this point. It's like, hey, we got to come in and we just have to be playing just the best Smite that we can in order to make it so that we're still in playoffs. We're still able to make it there so that we can make a run that will be, it's not impossible. You're not going through the 3rd seed, then the 2nd seed, then the 1st seed, just for a chance to win it all.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the Priests can do this weekend and how that affects their mentality going into next week. But let's go on to arguably the most fun division to talk about. We had a lot to say about the Deep Sea division. How about the Shallows division, huh? 9 points for the Legion, 9 points for the Fledglings, 8 points for the Mighty Horns, who just beat the Legion, 7 points for the Serbs, 6 points for the Apprentices, 5 points for the Frost Pups, and then the Astroducks and the Plebbies are on the hot seats, one way hotter than the other, at 3 points and 1 points respectively.
Yeah. So I've done a little bit of math. I'm a big math enjoyer. So with how things are, if say that Mighty Horns and Fledglings go even in terms of sets and set win. Say that it's 2-0s for both teams. Fledglings would still get out 1 point higher, even though Mighty Horns have the head to head. So specifically this week 7, are massive for that second place spot, because say that Fledglings beat Legion this week. Well, now Mighty Horns jump up to second seed now, and like automatically, because they'll be able to have that, little bit of that head-to-head advantage. Yeah, whether they win this set this week, or whether they even go down 1-2, they would still be tied, or at least in a very realistic spot to take over on the Legion. And I do really feel for Plebbies and Astroducks at the bottom, because right there, that is such a hard spot to be in, coming from experience there.
Yeah, I've been there too. Season 3, I was the captain for the Ferrymen, and we were knocked out by 1 point of the playoffs, to a team that ended up making a run in the playoffs. Everyone remembers the Linsanity year, if you were here. But yeah, you really got to feel for those teams. And with the midseason draft, hopefully, I'm totally not biased because I'm on one of those teams now because of the midseason draft. Go Astroducks. But you got to wonder, can things turn around? I just said that the Plebbies, they are such a confusing team to me, and I don't know what to say about them. And this is this their turning arc? Can they, in theory, they just lost to the Frost Pups, so they lose that head-to-head. They have to go perfect through the rest of the season if they even want to have a chance.
Exactly. If they win all their sets from here, 2-0s, they would be at 7 points, which is not ideal to be in at this. You really start to sweat a little bit going into this next week, because I really do believe that if Plebbies, don't 2-0 or even win this set, I think that is their playoff dreams, burned away, whisked away, into the wind.
And I know I said that I don't think any teams get mathematically removed for this weekend. I'm taking that back. I just did the math, especially now that they lose that tiebreaker to the Frost Pups. If the Frost Pups win and the Plebbies don't 2-0, they are basically out. Yep. They would have to pray for a miracle that the Apprentices just drop the ball, because if the Frost Pups win this weekend, I don't think that they have any chance of coming back, no matter how big the Frost Pups win, whether it's 2-1 or 2-0.
Yeah, it's such a tense situation to them. So I think we'll start to see a lot more of some desperate plays being made, really just trying to make sure they're in every game. Really start to see that, a little bit of fire in their eyes, a little bit of a, revenge arc, as you said.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's just go up a little bit. The Frost Pups and the Apprentices, those two teams are really close. Both of them, I said that they had must-wins weekends last week. The Apprentices got the easy ball. They beat the Astroducks, who they were tied with at the time, by a forfeit. The Frost Pups unfortunately forfeited game 1. If they didn't, they might just be tied with the Apprentices, which that would make that matchup later in the season very interesting.
Very tense.
But those two teams, they are behind the Legion, the Fledglings, the Mighty Horns, and the Serbs. In my opinion, and this is nothing against either of those teams, in my opinion, your goal is not to move up, it's to keep the Astroducks and the Plebbies down.
100%. I mean, I think Apprentices are still able to take over Serbs. I think because of the fact that they do have that head-to-head advantage. So if they do end up tying with the Serbs, they could secure a 4th seed. But it all depends on, how Apprentices do these next 2 weeks. And I'm really going to be excited to see how they're able to, really start to kicking into its second gear now that we're halfway through the season.
Yeah, it's gonna be so. I feel like I feel like a broken record because I feel like I say this almost every time you speak, but it really is gonna be really interesting to see how these teams react. And we're in that part of the season where reactions mean everything. You don't show up for 1 week, you can't get down on yourself, because if you get down on yourself, you might lose the next week, and all of a sudden your seat in the playoffs is in jeopardy.
It's just an interesting season. That's why we gotta always say that we're interested, we're excited, because it's genuine. We're excited to see how things are gonna play out, because anything can really happen. You know, we could see Mighty Hordes after beating Legion, they drop the next 3 sets. And then now they're, you know, you start to see a lot of cracks in their armor. So it's one of those things where anything could happen, and that's why that this is such a competitive yet, you know, a little bit of a tense division for Shallows.
Yeah, Shallows is going to be a lot of fun, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on you looking at it, the both of us play in that division, and the both of us face each other. So we're going to have some trash talking to do next week. But let's move on. We talked plenty about the standings, and we can talk some more about it in this coming week's matchup between... Why is it a blank screen? Where's
blank screen?
Hold on. Where'd it go? All my pictures are missing. Okay, we'll just go with this one while I try to figure it out. This was not the one I wanted to talk about next. The Eclipse Gaming versus... That's not even the picture I wanted. What's going on here? These are last week's picks.
That is last week. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, technical difficulties.
We started, you know, earlier today, so I feel like this is kind of our, you know,
it kind of had to happen like this, right?
It eats a little bit of our time.
Okay, well, there we go. That's the picture I wanted to show. The Fallen Angels versus the Bards College. And the bye is not important. The Poets versus the Priests. Yeah, the Priests need to win this. The Poets need to bounce back. That's a big matchup. Fledglings versus Legion. Charlie, take it away, please.
All right, so obviously we're both number 1, and you know we both have lost to the Mighty Horns. Okay, so we're in a very similar boat here, and we're a little bit upsetty spaghetti about, you know, losing the Mighty Horns. So I think that this will be a set where we get to test which team's philosophy will win out. I think Legion has the best side lanes in the division. I think that, you know, personally, biased speaking, I think I have the best mid 3-3 in the division. So we get to see, you know, which ones win the game first. And I think that a lot of our attention will be on junglers, because Goose and Azure are going to be massive players for both teams, really making sure that, you know, their lanes are able to be active, and that each team can try to get ahead, get their win cons ahead, see how the late game Battle of the Titans will go. I'm excited to play in this set. This will be a fun set to play in.
I actually completely forgot about this until you mentioned it. Azure was just on the Mighty Horns, who beat the Legion.
Yep.
Then gets traded to the Legion.
It's the Sam for soccer in a season from season 6 to 7. They're like, you know what, rival, I beat you. I'm gonna join you now. All right, I'm gonna see it from this side of the aisle, and this is gonna be a fun set to play in. Hopefully, a fun set to watch. We're probably gonna play cringe healers again. It's fun. It's fun to be the
way to give the Legion. Uchi, if you're watching this, what was I about to say?
Ban healers.
Yeah, ban healers.
Ban
pick
the
up
healers.
Odin. Pick up Serkets. Just make sure that they can't heal. Don't pick up either of those gods. They are terrible right now. But
pick up those gods. They're great right now.
I'm super excited to see how this matchup goes. I was saying it. This is why I was talking about. So I talked about earlier. the Legion faced the Serbs, I believe it was, and I said that was the match of the week that week, and it was, and the game showed. It was a 2-1 in favor of the Legion. Last week, I say the Legion versus the Mighty Horns are the match of the week, and you know what? It was. It was a 2-1 in favor of the Mighty Horns. You got to give them props for that.
Yeah.
How about I'm not going to say the Legion versus the Fledglings. For the third week in a row, the Legion has the match of the week. I'm going to talk about the actual match of the week. The Starhoppers versus the Raptors.
Oh, I just got baited.
Totally not biased, right? But no, the let's face it, the Legion versus the Fledglings are actually the match of the week.
Yeah.
Because that's just such a big matchup.
2-0.
I'm not going to talk about that match and how it's the match of the week anymore, because I'm tired of talking about the Legion and how good their matches are. Instead, let's talk about EG versus VC. Quite a few big matchups coming up. The Spacemen versus their Tyrannos. Number 3 versus number 4, 1 point apart. Starhoppers versus the Raptors. Number 3, number 4, 1 point apart. Then you got the Mighty Horns and the Astroducks. The Mighty Horns coming off a massive win over the Legion. And the Astroducks, they are on the hot seat. They need to bounce back. And once again, they changed in their roster. They haven't had a consistent roster all season. Why stop now? But they have to bounce back. And if they don't win this set, they have a very hard road going forward.
And just like the plebbies, like you just said, I feel like the issue of not having consistent roster is what's plaguing some of these more inconsistencies. And I think it might plague the Mighty Horns as well, them also going through some roster changes. So it's definitely going to be an interesting set. I'm hoping for Astroducks to get the upset. I'll root for you, Raptor. I'll let that be known.
I'll get 1 week of praise. I'll get 1 week of cheering.
Yeah, I'll cheer for you this week. But I think that if Mighty Horns play it the same way they did last week, if Bracking is able to get a god that he's comfortable on and be able to really snowball the game from there, I think it's going to be a very scary set for Astroducks.
Yeah, but you also have to wonder, what have we not seen from the Astroducks? Like I said, we haven't seen a single set where they have the same roster. If they do find that consistency, and again, I'm totally not biased because I'm on that team, no Astroducks, but if they do find that consistency, they very easily could turn this around, sneak into the playoffs, and if they have a good end of the season, they might be the dark horse between any of the divisions. Like, if they find a consistent roster and they perform on it, they won't be able to go, I think, above number 5 in the standings, no matter how good this past week is, unless every other team just screws the pooch. But they could very well be a dark horse, but they need to figure stuff out. On the opposite hand, though, the Starhoppers, they've clearly figured something out, and now they have a big matchup against the Raptors.
So, Snow is a monster.
If tonight wasn't enough proof for you.
It's just, this Starhoppers team is just scary. And same with this Tyrannos team. I believe that's the name.
Raptors are the
Raptors, yes. Division. Raptors. My bad. I've always beefed with the Shallows division name for it, but that aside, I think that this will be a very, very close set. I don't think this is going to be a blowout either way. I think this is going to be a very competitive set against these two teams. I think that will Bud be able to find, his value on, with these couple meta shifts, since I expect Solo Lane to shift up just a tiny bit. Will the battle between Kexan and Snowy be a close one, or will one of them, be able to have a definitive impact over the other? I think that this will be, clash between Titans, battle of the Goliaths.
Yeah, and both of these teams want it. Like, really, the Starhoppers, especially after coming off of such a close loss with the Journeyman, they have renewed hope. They are suddenly like, oh, we are really as good as our score says, and we can be better. We are better. Let's show it. And they have a great test this weekend against the Raptors. Then I forget who they're playing next week. But then after that, they face the Ferrymen, so they don't have an easy end of the season stretch at all. They got the low roll there, and I'm super excited to see how they come out, because especially if they get a win this weekend against the Raptors, that is massive momentum that they can take all the way to the end and take into their match against the Ferrymen. And the Raptors, I think they still have to play the Ferrymen as well. So for both teams, this is a massive game for both of them.
Yeah. This is like kind of playing for second right here. You're playing for your second seed, a chance to, break into that top 2, get your bye week in playoffs, and it's this match is going to mean a lot in terms of these two teams and what their fates are going into playoffs. Will they play through quarterfinals, or will they be, the raid boss, the final boss of, your quarterfinals? So I think that this will be this is going to be a very close set. I don't think it's going to be a direct stomp out either way. I hope not, at least. I think it'd be really fun if they were really close.
I would love it if it was close as well. And I have to correct myself. I am mistaken. They are on very similar paths. So they face each other this weekend. Then week 6, the Ferrymen or the Raptors face the Plebeians, and the Starhoppers face the Poets. So they are facing 2 bottom teams in week 6. So they've got a little bit of breather. Week 7, Journeyman versus Raptors, Starhoppers versus Ferrymen.
What a way to end your season.
No kidding.
It's like, hey, here's your appetizer. Anyways, here's your knuckle sandwich for your entree, okay? And we'll see if you make it to your dessert. That's such a way to end your season. So
it's such a weird way, because these schedules were randomly generated as well. So the freaking computer program can see into the future, apparently, because they gave us 2 barn burners at the end of the season, and that just makes this game even more important. If you're the Raptors and you see the Journeymen are 2 weeks out, you need the momentum. You need to win. And if you're the Starhoppers, you are 3 points. You are 1-2-0 away from tying the Ferrymen, who you face in 3 weeks. This match means so much more than just, who's third, who's fourth. This is all about momentum going into what is undoubtedly your hardest set in the next 3 weeks.
Exactly. Like we were saying, this is not third or fourth. It's, what's your playoffs looking like here? Are you able to crack into that second seed? Are you able to look good against these top 2 teams? See if you're able to, take games off them, maybe take sets off them, prove why you're actually the best team there. So I think that this set will see a little bit of a prelude to how playoffs will be going.
Yeah, for sure. And then on a very similar light, Spacemen versus Tyrannos. This is not a big set in terms of who can have the momentum going into the following weeks. But first of all, let's just talk about, is this set going to be played? I hope it is. I think it's going to be. I can't get over how bad this past week was for the Abyss division. But these teams, again, 3 and 4th, they're 1 point off of each other. There's a bit more of a gap. Instead of the Starhoppers being 3 points behind the Ferrymen, the Spacemen are 4 points behind. I believe it's the Patricians. So, they're not exactly fighting for a up. They're fighting to not face the Foremen in the playoffs.
Yeah, which is if there's any team I want to dodge, I think it's Foreman. I think it's Foreman. I don't want to run into the Rigid squad. So I think that's a very good decision. So I think definitely getting 3rd seed, 2nd seed is your aim, your name of the game here, and trying to see how long you can delay fighting Foreman, see if you can figure out any strategies against them before Death's Toll beckons for you.
Hope and pray that the 4th seed team, which hopefully isn't you, figures out how to beat the Foreman, and then you're just better at it.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a strategy. It's going to be a strategy.
that's why I said the Starhoppers vs Raptors is the game of the week, because that has so much at stake on it.
Yeah.
The Spaceman versus Tyrannos, on paper it's the exact same scenario, but if you look at the bigger picture, it's not who is fighting for second or possibly first seed and fighting for that momentum. It's who is trying to not get ran stomped in the quarterfinals or semifinals. Which that's not to say that the Foremen are not a beatable team. They absolutely are. Every team is beatable if you have the right strategy going into it. But the Foremen are just looking so strong, and the Spacemen and the Tyrannos, this game decides who faces them in the semifinals, barring some crazy shenanigans.
Oh yeah. So this will be. I think this whole like org, this whole org sets are going to be definitely fun to watch, because a lot of it is how are playoffs going to look for these teams specifically. Are you looking to crack into the top two so you can be on easy street, or are you looking to crack in the top two so you don't have to fight the number one seed, so you can have a little bit more time to plan for it?
Yeah, it literally is all three levels. If you're the Starhoppers, you're like, okay, can we crack into the top two? Can we get that first week bye? We have to get past our fourth place rivals right now. If you're the Spacemen, you're like, okay, we're just trying to stay above these guys. We don't think we're going to go any higher. We obviously can, but we don't think we are. We're just trying to stay afloat exactly where we are until playoffs. And then if you're the Astroducks, you're like, can I have some of that, please? Can we just figure out what we're doing so we can be in that same position, so we can comfortably be in the playoffs? That the EG has a lot going on it, more than the VC. I don't even know how to say their name, so I'm just going to call it VC. They're in a very similar scenario, all of them except for the Mighty Horns. But EG, every single team has something that they're fighting for. While the Mighty Horns, they're obviously 1 point behind the two leaders, but they're not really at risk for anything like the Astroducks are.
Yeah, I mean, for Mighty Horns, it's if they 2-0 here, then they could be able to make it a little bit easier for them to be on easy street. Because say that any of the top two, if Fledglings or Legion tie with Mighty Horns will immediately be above them. So it's gonna be, for Mighty Horns, this is a must-win in terms of, hey, we're so close to clawing into that top two. We've beaten both these top two teams, and now we just need to get the points necessary to really even up and just get into that top two. For Astroducks, we have to stay out of this top two. We have to get our way out of this bottom two. We got to claw our way back up, see if we can, make it to playoffs.
And I mean the Mighty Horns, the reason I'm saying that they don't have as much on stake is because if they 2-0, if they end up 2-0ing the Astroducks, they get second place no matter what happens in that Legion versus Fledgling team. They might even get first place if the Legion come out 2-1, because they do have that tiebreaker. So they don't have a lot at stake. The worst they can do is stay at number 3.
If either team actually if comes out 2-1 in that Legion's Fledgling sets, then they're actually Mighty Horns will be the first place, because both Fledglings and Legion, the only team they've lost to is Mighty Horns.
Mighty Horns has beaten both of them.
Exactly. Oh. So for both Legion and Fledglings, we're trying to make this a 2-0.
That just makes my point. That just makes my point even more. For certain, you guys are cheering for the Astro. No wonder you're cheering for me. If we take a single game off of the Mighty Horns, they don't get first place.
Exactly. Like I'm cheering for you because you're my co-caster. I'm also cheering for you because I really want my bye week.
Well, that's an amazing set of games. We spent a lot of time talking about that. How about we talk about it a little more, but in a division that's just a little less certain to actually play. Number 1 versus number 2, Foremen versus Patricians in the Abyss division. Then you got the Journeyman versus the Plebeians, who is 1 versus 6, and the Apprentices versus Plebes, who is 4. Who's number 4 versus hasn't won a single game.
Yeah. If we're starting with Foreman and Patrician, this is going to be a really fun set. I believe this set will be played because they already rescheduled. So, fingers crossed.
I mean, teams have. The Spacemen had rescheduled 2 weeks ago, I want to say, and still won by forfeit. So, it's not impossible. But let's think positive. Let's think positively. The Abyss Division is going to play both their games this weekend.
They're playing both their games. This will be a really fun Abyss match to watch. I think that this is your, hey, can we try to chip away at Foreman finally? Can we, prove that they're not just unbeatable? Because, if Patrician 2-0 this set, they're still behind Foreman because there's a 4-point differential between the two teams. But, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere in terms of trying to, expose, Foreman's weaknesses. And because of that, I think it's going to be a very fun, if not a little tense set to watch because of the fact that they really need Foreman and Patricians both really need and want to win this set so that they can make sure that all their cards are closer to their chest so that other teams are still trying to figure them out going into these later weeks.
Yeah, you don't want to show too much of your hand because if this is a barn burner of a set and they do go all out, the Spacemen and the Tyrannos, and let's say the I don't even know who the other teams, the Reapers and
Reapers and Swarm.
The Reapers and Swarm somehow do make it into the playoffs, which is entirely possible. They could turn it around. We'll talk about that in just a second. But let's just say that is the Spacemen versus the Tyrannos for simplicity factor. If you both show your hands because you both are trying so hard to win this game, suddenly the Spacemen and Tyrannos, they have great film on you. They know exactly what you're going to play, what you like to play, all that. And so these are Abyss level players, don't forget. So they clearly know, they most likely know each other personally, and they most likely, these are just really good players. And so they probably don't have one play style as a team, but you show your hand too much, and suddenly the Spacemen and Tyrannos, it doesn't matter which one wins or loses that game. They suddenly have really good film on you, and so you just have to be really careful if you're both of them.
Exactly. It's like it's better that you just kind of if you're winning, you win on the same stuff you've been winning on, and just trying to. If you're Foreman, if you think that this is going to be an easier match, you can try to go in with that mentality, especially because of how dominant they've looked all seasons so far. So it's going to be an interesting strategy because based on points, I believe Foreman haven't dropped a single game yet.
No, they haven't. They're at 12 points this week.
Yeah, so if that's not like the omen of doom right there, I don't know what is.
I think it's important to note. I'm sorry to cut you off. You can continue in a second. The Spacemen, going back to the Spacemen and Tyrannos, the Spacemen have already played the Patricians. They've already played the Foremen. They actually won by forfeit over the Patricians. So, they prove themselves, quote unquote, against the Patricians. They have that tiebreaker, but they don't have to play either of them for the rest of the season.
Which is nice because now if you're looking to grab into a lot more of the second seed, you can try to, if your later weeks go well, you get some wins off of these lower end teams, and you try to, boost yourself up to that second, or keep yourself in that third place position. Anywhere where you do not have to interact with Foreman. That's my favorite spot to be in right now. Anti-Foreman. Because that team, it just looks unstoppable right now.
Yeah, well, going back to my point, the Tyrannos, they have to play. They play the Spacemen this week, the Patricians next week, and then the Foremen in the final week.
That's
the Tyrannos.
That's a backloaded schedule. That's a backloaded schedule right there. Okay.
So suddenly, my opinion has changed about the Spacemen versus Tyrannos game. As long as the Spacemen don't get 2-0'd, they get a bye week next week, and then if they come out and then they face a struggling Reapers team and win, as long as they don't get 2-0'd, they might just guarantee themselves the third place spot right there, unless the Tyrannos come out and perform some miracles.
And that's like an excellent spot to be in.
Yeah.
So third place is a very comfy little place. It's not. I'm not scoffing at third place if I'm spaceman. I get
Yeah.
to be on the other side of Foreman, and you fight. If it is 6 teams, it's going to be you get your sixth place team. So you get pretty.
You'd be facing the Swarm, who hasn't played a set all season. They've just forfeited every single set. So you get a free win in the playoffs.
Exactly.
I don't want to sound mean, but that's just where we are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's just if they don't show up, then it's like another bye week, really.
Yeah.
So.
And let's stop talking about the Spaceman and Tyrannos. We gave those teams enough screen time. Patricia's and Foreman, we talked about it. It's going to be a really solid set, and hopefully it gets played and we actually get to talk about it next week, because I think that could be a lot of fun to talk about.
Exactly. Very excited to touch.
Something that's not as excited to talk about. The Journeymen versus the Plebeians, 1 versus 6, and the Apprentices versus the Plebeies, 5 versus 8.
Yeah. Let's start with Journeyman versus Plebeians, okay? I like to give benefit of the doubt. I really do. But I think this might be the stomp set of the week. I think this is going to be the week this will be the set. If I'm expecting any set to be like a 20-5, 25-minute game, 2-0, it's probably going to be this set. Journeymen have been looking on fire, dropping only a couple games so far. So, and they're still undefeated. And then if you look over at this, Plebeians roster, it's kind of a very different story. You're looking at, the Plebeians roster, who is 1-3, with 4 points to their name. So it's a lot. It's like your yin and yang. You have two different seasons. So I'm scared for the Plebeians. Scared. If I'm Plebeians going to the set, I'm going in with clear mental. I'm saying, win or lose this set, our goal is to look good, look competitive. That is the goal. Let's get a little bit more info on Journeyman team. Let's see if we can, make sure that we're learning as much as we can about them, seeing as they might be who we're matching up with in playoffs in some way or shape or form.
Yeah, but if you're around them, if you're the priests, you're suddenly like, I don't care what happens in this game. You're assuming that the Plebeians are going to lose 2-0. That's not to say it's going to happen. Anything can happen. But you're assuming that the team that's right behind you, that's 1 point behind you, is going to lose 2-0. And then you're looking ahead of you. You are 2 points behind the Starhoppers and 1 point behind the Raptors, and they face each other. So if you take care of business against the Poets, who's the worst team in the division right now, suddenly the Priests are feeling really good about this week. And then you look at the Frost Foxes, they're 2 points behind the Plebeians, but they're facing the Ferrymen. And so, they might not be feeling super confident about that matchup. It is the number 2 team against the number 7 team, which we're going to talk about that in the next slide, by the way. But suddenly you're like, okay, more than likely, I'm not going to fall more than 2 points behind. And we still face the Plebeians. So this is big. If you're the Frost Foxes or you're the Priests, you are happy about this matchup for the Plebeians.
Oh yeah, no, this is one of those those little sweat wipe moment. Like, this is like, all right, we got lucked out a little bit on scheduling here. We were able to grab Plebeians having a really unlucky week, so now we can try to boost up some points or make it so that we can at least even it out when we do have to fight them. So I think that this is one of those plebeian weeks where it's like, all right, we're looking to learn something. We're looking to just learn anything from this set, learn anything about us, learn anything about Journeyman, what works, what doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
But of course, trying to win. You gotta try to win.
Yeah, exactly. And I am actually mistaken. The Frost Foxes, they are kind of in a need to win situation, because I just re-looked at the schedule. They actually no. I'm wrong. They don't face the Plebeians. They face the Journeymen and the Priests.
Ah.
So Suddenly, the sweat wipe moment of facing the ferrymen turns into, if we don't win this, we need to beat the priests.
Exactly. When it's like, well, it gets a little tense right there.
Okay,
It's
but
not
still, you're still happy that the plebeians are facing the journeyman. You're like, okay.
Oh yeah, you're very happy.
More
about
than
it.
likely, we're not falling more than 2 points behind the plebeians now.
Why it gets a little scary a bit now. So
yeah, and then apprentices versus plebeians. We haven't really talked about this, and quite frankly, there's not a whole lot to say about it. We talked about the plebeians plenty. Apprentices, we didn't see them play last week. The Astroducks unfortunately couldn't get a team together and had to forfeit. But apprentices, they are still they're getting sigh of relief. They were tied for they were in a 3-way tie for that last playoff spot last week, and now they're handily in 5th place. And you're facing the plebeians, who their only win is because the Frost Pups couldn't make it for game 1, but they ended up losing 2-1 in that set anyway.
Yeah, from my perspective as a player, the apprentices are the biggest question mark team out of the whole division, okay? Because against these lower end teams, they've looked, Serbs even, they were around, apprentices Serbs around the same spot. They looked good against. They're still able to take games off of top teams, but they haven't been able to find a win over a top team. They haven't been able to grab a win over either Legion or Fledgling.
Mm-hmm.
And so now it's one of those things where I'm like, I need to see them kind of prove themselves like up against Muddy Horns in week 7. That's my thing.
Yeah.
That will be my definitive. All right, apprentices, are they top 4? Are they bottom 4? Where are they sitting here? Because I'm in the opinion that they're top 4, but I just need them to prove themselves there. I need to be like, hey, after you get done fighting plebeians and then frost pups, you need to really get this win over Mighty Horns down week 7. And I think that this plebeians game, if it's played, I think this will be a apprentices experimental week. This is where they try a couple new different things. We're like, all right, we need to get some strategies down, need to get to see what we can do up against Frost Pups, Mighty Horns, so that we can prove why we're in that top 4 conversation and try to get a comfortable place going into it.
Yeah, and then on the other side, if you're the plebeians, imagine having to face this team. And if you look at the rest of their schedule, it doesn't get much better. They face the Mighty Horns in week 6, and then they face the Fledglings. It's almost like they have to win this set in order to have a chance, because, like I said earlier, they're the team out of the entire league in any of the divisions. They're the one team that's at a massive risk of being knocked out of the playoffs this weekend. Even if it's not mathematically correct, they might as well be if they don't pull off even a single game win this weekend.
Yeah, I feel for them. I feel like this is probably the worst hand you could have pulled. Mighty Horns, who have been looking on fire. Apprentices, who have still looked strong against top teams. They were not a breeze for any team so far. And then you have us in the last week, and that's just unlucky. That's what I'm gonna say. That's just unlucky. And I hope that they're able to find some luck again in weeks 5 and 6. Maybe see a little bit of a point increase, but they're in a very tough spot.
Yeah, point is that their playoff hopes is just barely in their own grasp.
On life support.
Yeah. Even if they win this weekend, it's very likely, depending on how the Astroducks do, that they still don't make playoffs. And
exactly.
That's so hard to say, especially if this is the get right week and then they win out the rest of the season, that they still might not make playoffs. And that's just really heartbreaking to see.
It's a scary situation for them, because they have to be above the Frost Pups in order to make it. They can't tie with Frost Pups, so they need to, start winning some sets, taking some games even off of some of these top end teams. And this is this is your underdog run now. This is your Rocky moment where you gotta really fight from under and prove why you can make it here. You can hang with everyone else.
Yeah, it really is. Well, let's move on to quite a few important sets. But for one team more than the other. The Reapers have a bye this weekend, but then you got the Ferrymen versus Frost Foxes, which we just briefly mentioned as to why that's important. And then Frost Pups versus Serbs. That's super important if you're the Frost Pups, especially looking forward at the rest of your season.
Yeah. So let's touch on Ferryman Frost first.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a set where it's gonna be I think this is gonna be a Ferryman kind of do Ferryman stuff thing. We're gonna see Arrow do Arrow things. And I don't see this set being extremely close, but I definitely think if it is played that it's gonna be I think there's gonna be there's gonna be one really close game. No matter who takes the set, there's gonna be one really close game in there where it's gonna be like 28-30 with like with one of the teams taking it out. But if I'm going based off standings, off predictions, like what I've seen from these players, I think that Ferrymen should be able to grab this, be able to be dominant in this set, prove why they're, even though they're in second place, they can't be scoffed at. They're still tied with Journeyman. They're still in that top team conversation there.
Yeah, that's, as we said before, the Frost Foxes, this isn't massive for them because they are 1 point behind the Plebeians, who are facing the Journeyman. But you still have to win, right? Like, you face the Plebeians next weekend. You wouldn't mind a win to get that little bit of momentum. You don't want to be going into that matchup against the Plebeians where right after both of you have lost and both of you are just trying to build back that momentum. You would much rather be the team with the momentum going into that set.
Momentum is one of those things where it's stats can never describe how big of a motivator it can be playing in a team. I know based off of our energy from week 3 to week 4 was it was like night and day. So I think if Frost Foxes are able to find this win over Ferrymen in such a huge upset, I'm gonna say it. This will be a changing of colors you'll see for this Foxes team. You'll start to see them walk into sets a little bit more confidently, be like, hey, we can beat you, and here's why. But I think that if Ferrymen show up, they do their normal Ferryman routine, I think that this will be a very decisive game or decisive set for the Ferryman. I'm gonna say it's like a 2-0, 2-1. Not gonna go into specifics though.
I mean, if you're the Frost Foxes, you are happy with a 2-1 right
Oh,
there.
most definitely.
Because that puts you tied with the Plebeians, and suddenly that match, it just gets a whole lot better next weekend.
Oh, exactly. Your confidence goes through the roof.
Yeah, exactly. But moving on, let's talk about the Serbs versus the Frost Pups. Serbs, they are number 4. Frost Pups number 6. They're about 2 points apart, I believe.
Yeah,
2 points apart. So, they are close. Frost Pups can overtake them. But if you're the Frost Pups, you're not thinking, oh, this is a big set because of the Serbs. You're thinking, oh, this is a big set because of the Apprentices.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I think if Frost Pups are able to find a win over Serbs, I think it's very doable at the moment. I think Serbs, they had a really good momentum at the beginning of the season, but these past few weeks they've been stumbling quite a bit. Taking a loss to us, and then they managed to get something over the Mighty Horns, but even the week before that, still falling down the Apprentices. They're kind of losing a little steam, and I think that Frost Pups could be able to take it off of, again, we were just talking about momentum. If we take away that Plebei's FF game 1 win, Frostpups basically 2-0'd them. So it's going to be a momentum thing where they're going in, where they're like, hey, if we were starting at game 1, this is a 2-0.
Yeah,
So,
it's crazy to think about that. If they had played game 1 and it was a 2-0, they'd be tied with the Apprentices, 1 point behind the Serbs, and suddenly the conversation around this match becomes a whole different story between the Serbs and the Frostpups. Crazy how just one game makes that big of a difference.
yeah, honestly, this is the set that I'm actually watching quite a bit closely, compared to a few of the other sets in Shallows. I think that this will be a fun set to see which of these teams come on top, because I think they're at very similar levels. I don't think that either of them are leaps and bounds as ahead of each other. I think that this might be a very close set. This might be a very or this might be a blowout. It's do Serbs show up? Do they find their consistency again? Are they able to show like, hey, we're 4th seed, and we don't appreciate being talked about like we're 5th, 6th seed. So, I definitely want to see Serbs, find their consistency again, be able to show up and prove their dominance. And Frostpups, honestly, I just want them to, prove me wrong. Say, hey, we're gonna get in there. Our first few weeks were unlucky, but we're here to show that if we can get this win off the Serbs, they go into the apprentices next week, and that's a huge momentum gain right there. Because if you're going off 2 set wins in a row, your confidence is booming going into this apprentices set. They're similarly ranked to you. You're able to, say, hey, we're on the same level. We can beat them. We got this. So I'm definitely excited to see how this set particularly turns out for either team.
And then let's also not forget that they face the Apprentices next week, and then they face the Legion. So suddenly, these two
momentum
games,
is so
the
huge.
Serbs and the Apprentices, massive sets. And if the Frostpups come out on top of that, they can rest up with that Legion match. Because
they kick the feet up.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, we're chilling now.
Because suddenly they lock their spot in the playoffs, A. B, they might just lock themselves into a top 4 spot, win or lose, depending on how the last couple weeks of the Serbs and the Apprentices play out. And that's big. That's really big, because that means that you're facing either the Apprentices or the Serbs or the Astro Ducks if they do make a run towards the end of the season. And that's massive. Instead of playing up, you'll be playing down.
Yeah, most definitely. This is going to be a, like I said, this is probably going to be my set of the week. That isn't my own. I think that this is the set where I'm watching and I'm making sure that I'm paying a bit closer attention to it and seeing what they're planning on doing for the rest of the year.
Be honest. If you weren't playing in the set, Legion and Fledglings would be your number 1, right?
It would be. It would be. I can't ego myself all the time. I have to be like, yeah. I can't. I'm just not that type of person. I can't ego myself.
Well,
all the time.
Know what? My match of the week is the Astro Ducks versus the Mighty Horns, and yes, I will ego myself. No, I'm kidding. I've already said Legion and Fledglings. I'm not giving them the match of the week, because I gave Legion match of the week 3 weeks in a row.
I mean, they're entertaining. They have entertaining sets.
They are. They know. The schedule has just favored them. Of course, as soon as we start this podcast, as soon as we start the Quackcast, and we start talking about this stuff, they get a really interesting schedule. And I think Uchi rigged it. I think Uchi paid Poe to rig the
It's like, hey, let's start the podcast at this week.
Yes, exactly,
so
exactly. So we can ego him. I don't even know the Legion's last 2 games, but I'm still not going to give them match of the week, even if they are good sets. But that's going to be all for me. I've been Raptor. This has been Chargoat, as always. And thank you so much for showing up, sticking around. These are always a lot of fun to do, even though this has been 3.5 hours. How the heck has this been 3.5 hours?
We're good at the talking thing. We talked for
we're
a while.
too good at the talking thing. Imagine it. Imagine if Bud
Owen
Bud
was still here.
Yeah.
Oh, Bud Bud
Owen,
as well.
Bud
Yeah.
Bud.
Bud Bud. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh, this show would. You guys should be thanking Bud Bud that he can't make it today. Or you should be thanking his brother's daughter, his niece, for staying over at his house so that he can't talk. No, I'm just kidding. But next week we'll be back with some more fun, with some more 1v1s, with some more talking about these. Let's be honest. We got a stacked lineup this week and throughout the rest of the season. We got a stacked lineup of matches, and I can't wait to talk about them. But
It only gets more fun from here.
it really does. But for now, my name is Raptor. He's been the Chart Goat. I'm not gonna scream. My voice hurts. And thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you all next week.
Goodbye.